Welcome back, folks, to the .gg podcast. This is episode 7, I believe. How's everybody doing tonight? Hopefully that got picked up.
Oh, what?
How's everyone
What
doing?
just happened?
You know when they do that in like sports stadiums? Like, how's everybody doing tonight? And like the whole crowd just goes like, ah, but like you can't really hear it. So it just sounds like, just like subtle noise in the back.
Oh,
Yeah, I couldn't tell. Did you just make that, or did you have a sound?
Do you have a soundboard of applause?
No, I just made that.
You just went like,
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
It sounded like a soundboard, so you're actually quite talented at.
Nice.
Like that should be a job for you. You can just
We
record
can-
yourself doing that.
Okay.
We can get a soundboard too, just like
I'm surprised you
when
got that.
like that was it.
Yeah.
Like, what other sounds can you?
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
He just
that's-
starts beatboxing.
Yeah, that's a whole other
Hit some of
podcast
those
episode.
acapella beatboxing notes.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
true. Yeah.
Oh man, all right. Well, it's nice to see everybody here. We got some news to catch up on, mostly OP13 spoilers, including a lot of Roger support, which we're very excited to talk about because there are so many implications with these cards coming out. And then some regional information at the end with signups coming up as well. Y'all ready to hop right into it?
Wahoo!
Yeah. I mean, I'm not excited about the Roger support. I'm just gonna stake that ground right now.
Okay. It's different kinds of emotions.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. We love variety.
Right.
Okay, so first up here we got Hera, a purple character, 4-cost 5k power with 1k counter. So this is a homie and a big mom pirate with on play up to one homies type character card with 3000 power or less from your hand. Interesting.
Yeah. So this I'm so excited for now.
Yeah, this.
I'm not excited
I almost
for
spit out
Roger,
my water.
but homie support is like I've just been waiting.
Oh.
No, this just seems like filler cards to make your draft sealed take longer. While you're like, oh, that's a card I'm not putting in my draft deck.
Yep, and it can't be rushed by Sanji if you still have a format that doesn't that still allows PRB Sanji to be played as a leader in sealed. Yeah, I mean as the resident yellow big mom coper. First of all, it's not even yellow, so
Yeah.
it's not going with that. Most of the homies I think are yellow, so most of the ones you're gonna see like combos with this for are gonna be from like mixing purple and yellow. But the only thing that does that is pudding, and this doesn't really push it over the edge. So I think this is back filler.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so the only thing is like maybe they'll make like a purple yellow Lin.
Oh, a new leader.
A new leader, because we have like the purple big mom, assuming that doesn't get banned. Like that's going to be around for a little bit until it rotates out. Maybe we get like a Lin, because like this doesn't make sense with pudding. Like
No.
pudding doesn't ever interacts with the homies.
No.
The homies are like Lin, so maybe in the future.
Yeah. So looking forward to that purple yellow big mom, especially because I've like
But like imagine like a purple yellow big mom that actually does like play homies. Like that
Yep.
like you're not just slamming big bodies. Your whole goal is just to play like little homies and do like fun tricks with Zeus and stuff. That would be so sick.
And then the good thing about that is when you rest your homies for their abilities, you can restand them using the 8-drop kata.
That's true.
Yeah. So it's a way to protect them too. But like, hey, we haven't seen that leader yet, so show me the leader.
That would be so funny though. Like you're just like 4 homies and kata like
Rest them all?
resetting 2 or whatever. Yeah. That's,
It's all relevant, yeah, because you rest them to use their effects and then you restand them,
restand.
right? Yeah. That's handy.
But yeah, pack filler.
you heard it here first.
Pack filler or broken.
Or the most broken.
Yeah, it's one or the other. It can't be in between.
Yeah.
Okay, Saint Shalria. I love that name. So this black character, 1 cost, 0 power, 1k counter. This is a celestial dragon. On play, look at 3 cards from the top of your deck. Reveal up to 1 celestial dragon's type card other than Saint Shalria and add it to your hand. Then trash the rest, which is like pretty normal for a black searcher, but then also trash 1 card from your hand. What do you think about this? This leader can't come like fast enough, whatever this black leader is going to be.
I had some theories about this, which was that, like thinking about this, like first of all, I think it's like because they announced like the best collection or best selection, that this is like probably a core searcher in the new emu leader that they're gonna release, and then the fact that you trash the cards and you trash 1 from your hand too, is a sign that odds are there's like some kind of importance to having your trash filled with stuff. But then the last thing I thought was like, this is punishing to you, right? If you play this, you're going down the card for playing it, and you get 1 back, but then you're losing an additional 1 from hand. That makes you feel like, if you look at like Blackbeard as an example of a black deck where you lose a card from hand every turn, so all your things make you draw cards as a result, right? It might be that Emu is the opposite, where your ability naturally fills your hand size and that all your cards do the opposite. all the things you're playing force you to lose cards from hand to make them useful. So that was my theory, is that it's kind of like an inverted Blackbeard, where if the playables are like this, that means the leader is the opposite.
Yeah.
But that's a theory.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people are thinking Emu will be like some sort of trash recursion deck. And so that fits with that, right? If the whole idea is like you draw a lot of cards and then you put them in your trash to do effects from trash. Similar to like Gecko Moria or like a la like Yu-Gi-Oh card games where like your trash becomes a second resource. And I think like given that, we've seen Roger, we're going to talk about Roger, but Roger does seem like this really kind of pretty straightforward deck where you're just going to ramp up and play big bodies. It would be kind of nice to have the contrast of like this really cool like trash recursion, more complex deck where you have to really think about what to trash, how to fill up the grave in an interesting way.
Yeah.
And so I think we've seen recursion like with black decks before with cards like Rebecca and Gecko Moria, but we've never quite seen like there's different ways of doing recursion that's not just like you bring back bodies.
Yeah.
So it would be fun to see something maybe a little bit more complicated with some of these trash interactions. So I think there's definitely like it's a good theory that we're going to see like this synergize with Emu if that's the leader that we actually get.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited because like I'm excited to see what Bandai plans to do with like the black color identity, because like up until now we haven't had, we don't even know Emu is mono black. I think the theory is that it's mono black, but like looking at the past two sets, we had Usopp and we had, for us at least, we had Usopp leader and we had a Kobe leader, and then we have Koala coming up for us in the West. But all of those leaders are not necessarily like black centric. So it seemed like they were kind of trying to figure their way out around what the black color identity is now that all these bans have happened for Ice Age, Gecko, all this stuff that was historically black's color identity. Then I can't wait to see Emu, because it's like, what are they going to say black color identity is? Because outside of like Blackbeard, it doesn't feel like there is a lot of like refined, identity to that color yet.
Yeah, and I mean, like just imagine that this is, as we're saying it is, and we get this Emu leader. It also doesn't like make black this just like bizarre color where it's doing so much right now. Like it almost feels unfair to other colors, because you've got like a deck like Blackbeard, which love or hate Blackbeard, it's one of the most unique and interesting kind of decks to play. It's got very interesting black style mechanics. And then you've also got like removal decks like Lucci, like that come out of like the Sokka era. Right? And then you've got decks like Kobe that are now doing like power-based removal. Right? And then you've got decks like Usopp that also have like this removal component to the, it's like black is all over all over the map. So it will be interesting if we get like another new black combo. It might feel a little bit unfair to other colors. Like so far red just does like one thing, green does like maybe one thing. I don't even know what blue does. Like
blue in this, you dip into it to grab your gravity blades and your red rocks.
Yes, exactly.
And pudding.
That's
the staples.
What is my purpose? You do that. You bot deck things to avoid things that can't be removed. And
and you always attach it with some other color, because by itself it's not good.
Basically. So I believe the Emu leader will be revealed on August 10 on One Piece Day.
Ooh.
Yeah, people saying there's going to be some sort of like reveal that accompanies that like in the month. I don't think so. Like that would be craziness. Like if they spoiled like the Emu face reveal, I don't think that's going to happen. I think if it is, it will just be like the Emu that we know and love, the plushy one that we've been seeing Oda like placing.
Is there a chapter release for? Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Like, I wonder when the chapter release coincides with One Piece Day, whether or not there's a chapter that releases on that day. That would be super hype.
Honestly, it might. We don't know, but like the way I'm thinking about it is like having the silhouette for both the base art and also the alt art will be really interesting to see how they'll balance both of that. Because there's only so much you can do with the silhouette.
Oh, but I mean, come on, like, okay, so let's spoil it. Like, this is like very vague spoilers, but just spoiler alert. I mean,
you can just, if you don't like, cover your ears right now.
But like if you do Emu, you can just do like the classic silhouette, and then you can do the butterfly scene as the alt art. Like I want that. I would want that so badly. Imagine if the alt art is that, like that butter. Oh my god. That would be so cool. So I think you can. I think you can still do it.
Yeah.
I think with
or like a face shot, with just like big red eyes.
That would be so.
Because they're all face leaders, right, for this set.
Oh,
so
then
like,
it could be that. That would actually be. That would be so.
Yeah. But I feel like they wouldn't spoil the face reveal so soon, because like I mean the plushie just came out, and it's been hilarious seeing people set up that plushie everywhere.
Yeah. I really want like just like a Emu with like like those crew shots that we have with like the 5 elders. It's so funny. Just like Emu like with this like funny like piratey pose, and the 5 elders like all behind as the crew.
That would be interesting.
That's how I would do it, but I guess that's why I'm not.
That'll be in the special collection set. That'll be like the like we had the 4 emperors. It'll be like that. That'll be the special collection Emu leader.
Yeah, you gotta collect like all the Gorosei characters too. It'll be fun. Okay, Jewelry Bonney, yellow character, 9 cost, 10k power. This is Egghead and Bonney Pirates typing. On play, if your leader has Egghead type, this character gains Rush. Then your opponent adds the top of their life card to their hand, and it has a trigger. If your life is 1 or less, you may rest up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 7 or less.
Mm-hmm. First disclaimer, she's a child. So control yourselves. Behave yourselves. Right now.
Yeah, there's been a lot of controversy about that. I don't know how to I don't know how to handle that.
Yeah.
Hopefully the alt art of the card is a little bit more appropriate given the character. I guess the only way you can justify it is like her power does seem to be like it's the future.
Yeah.
So this is Bonney in the future.
Yeah.
So that's a really complicated moral question.
Yeah.
It's like this is a future version of a person. It's not actually like that she's in a bigger body now. It's like this is the future. It's kind of how they
This is
present
her
it.
imagined future of
This
what
is her
she-
imagined,
yeah.
exactly. So it's quite complicated. And if it is her imagined future of herself, then actually this is like a very strong feminist card.
Who knows? That's an SPS. That's an SPS question for Oda right there.
Yeah.
It's like, how old is Bonney technically when she's?
And this is like-
I imagine his answer is going to be hilarious.
Just ignoring the fact that her mental age is still that of a child, but
Yeah.
Wait?
Well, it's a future though. I don't know. It's
I've never actually
Yeah.
fully understood that whether her mental age. And I'm not making a defense for. By the way, I'm not defending
No,
you.
there's no
I'm not
defense.
defending any of you who are doing. You
This
know
is just
what?
a theoretical debate at this point.
right?
Yeah.
I'm saying like I actually now thinking back, I'm not sure if she's actually a little smarter when she's like. Well, Barney's just smart in general. Like she's
Yeah, it's hard to
always
know,
been
'cause
very
she's like a
smart.
genius,
She's
yeah.
even when she's in her kid form for that one fight scene, she was like incredible. Like I don't think it affects actually her mental acuity. So I would assume that means that she's just smart all the time, but then she has still the brain of her child self.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is besides the point now. All I'm saying is, yeah, hopefully all that looks cool.
Yeah.
And I thought this leader would be like very Unga Bunga, like
Yeah.
very swing at face, very like curve out swing. This is the last piece of that puzzle, which is I Unga Bunga swing every turn for 7 while dropping an on curve unit that does something really cool. And then I also go into my 9-dawn turn and I do that again and I swing 7, then I swing 10, and then also you picked up a life when I did this. Which like really just feels like if you just curve out as this deck, then things are gonna be pretty good. And I think can Lilith search this? Can it? Lilith is an egghead searcher, right? Technically, yeah. So you can Lilith search into this. So this really just feels like Kata Reborn.
Yeah.
Like it feels like
Yes.
Kata Reborn.
It really does, and it does feel like this could like if it curved out, just like beat Roger. That's a counter. Like it might just be too much pressure with
Yeah.
cards like this coming through before Roger can stabilize. And like this is a really strong stat line to be coming like out of the gate swinging and trashing at life, right?
Yep.
So I imagine if you see like a couple of these in a row, like I don't know how Roger survives. So this does suggest that like there is some counterplay coming to Roger. I think my issue with the card is I just don't buy that Bonnie's like a 10,000 power character,
Yeah.
right? Like I don't think she's like, yeah, I just don't buy. I don't buy it. I have like all my issues with the card are like have like nothing to do with the actual what's printed on.
Well,
the
this
card.
is her before she achieves her peak, right?
Yeah,
Because
so
we've seen another form that we won't
Yeah.
spoil of Bonnie's,
Yeah.
which I feel like would hit the 12k power line.
That could
Maybe
be the
that's
altar.
why.
Yeah, that
like-
could be the altar. But
Oh
like,
yeah.
I don't know. I don't buy it. Like it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. It just doesn't fit. And I feel like as the Bonney leader, like this whole like I'm just gonna like punch, also like doesn't fit. I see Bonnie as a little bit more resourceful than that. Like she tends to like
Yeah.
sneak around. She tends to use her power like sneakily to like, you know, mess with people's age and things like that. This just feels like not.
Oh yeah, that one animated
Body.
fight when she's doing like the 2 pipes and just fighting all these
Yeah.
Marines. And I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, this is like such a cool fight scene right now.
Yeah, so I would have liked to see like less Unga Bunga Bonnie punching and more like, again, because she's a yellow leader, especially more like life manipulation just kind of does seem to fit in nicely with her, like as this person who manipulates.
Who literally
age
manipulates
and-
ages,
so-
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
to be
so-
fair, I think she's holding a gun. Right? That is a gun, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you saying guns are just like 10,000 power in the one piece?
yeah.
Well, I think guns have probably canonically killed the most people in One Piece.
Really?
I would say old
Yeah,
age
like
probably has.
like Dofi killing
I would say
Rosie with
old
the gun.
age
Right?
is probably-
Okay, aside from natural causes, but no one's dying of a punch in One Piece.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm not accepting your guns. Like, I don't think if you give, like, who's, like, a really weak character, like, one of the fake Straw Hats a gun.
No,
and
no,
it's like, oh, I'm
Helmeppo with a
10,000.
gun is still weak. Helmeppo pre-time skip with
he
gun.
didn't fire it though. If he had fired that shot,
That's true.
we don't know.
Okay, so guns are the real, like...
Guns are the real
powerhouse
10,000.
in One Piece. Like, who cares about, like, how strong Mihawk is
Yeah.
or Roger? It's like Roger gun. It's, like, actually
Yeah.
the strongest.
Well, then why is Krieg only 7,000 power? He has
He's
the
got a lot
most
of
guns
guns.
out of everyone.
Yeah, he's not hitting anyone with that though. It's just a poison gas that he resorts to.
All right.
We need a better Don Krieg
This
card.
makes me actually like segue. Like I really want them to. You know that one the side. You know how during in the between chapters they show you different side stories that happened in the world when the Marines are about to fire on Helmeppo and Morgan when Kobe and Helmeppo haven't actually trained yet, and like Kobe's got the two guns like, no, don't fire on my friend, and then like what's Garp's like swordsman friend,
Bogard.
What
Bogard.
just cuts both his pistols into like little pieces. I'm like, I need that to be a card.
Yeah.
It's like Kobe with two guns, but like pre buff up.
So he'd be 20,000 power.
20,000 power, yep. But then Bogart cutting the guns, and now you cut it into half. Now it's 10,000.
Honestly,
Anyway.
that was like one of the strongest sword feats that we've seen up until that point.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Bogard.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, the guns are just like disintegrated into like 16 pieces.
It costs
Yeah.
10,000 power if your opponent has Bogard on the field.
Yeah.
Go to 0 power.
Bogard. We need more Bogard
Yeah,
cards.
give me my
too.
Bogart secret rare.
Yeah, speaking of, this is a
SP
Sabo
Bogard.
secret rare.
Sabo.
6 cost, 7k power, no counter. So this is Dressrosa and Rev Army. Blocker and activate main once per turn. Give up to one of your characters +2 cost until the end of your opponent's next turn. Then give up to one rested Dawn card to your leader.
I mean, I love cards like these, and also the art's sick.
Yeah, I mean, like 7,000 power blockers. Good.
Yep.
That's a big number. That makes it, like, once this is down, you get to really, like, save counter for the rest of the game. It helps give protection, which is amazing. And then you actually get to get a Dawn back, so it's kind of like a 5 cost 7,000 body in some sense.
Yeah.
Solid.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I was gonna say like the typing in this is really, really great because it's like, okay, first of all, like typing's great because it's Dressrosa and Revolutionary Army, so those are always like we talked about it with like the new Sabo Leader, which this directly supports. Like the moment you play this, you are now a 6k leader. The moment you play this, and then also you have a 7k blocker on the same turn.
Yeah.
The +2 is like just amazing. Like it ends up acting as pseudo support for like mono black Luffy too at the same time because you can hit like 8 or 9 cost lines really easily once you have this ability active because it's also helping assign that Dawn to like Black Luffy's leader. And some people in the Moria chat were even saying like, I want to play this in Moria because it helps me activate leader ability easier. And I was like, actually, yeah, nothing about this is locked. So
true, yeah.
you can play it and you can pitch it if it's not useful for the moment. And that +2 cost kind of does help. But overall, I think this card's just like really solid because of just like, it makes that leader. So like it makes that new Sabo leader really easy to like get all these things active. And oh, this is actually what I want to say the most. 6 cost has historically been one of the hardest lines to create powerful cards for. Like we've seen always historically the really powerful like 4 drops, 8 drops, 7 drops can be okay, but there's almost never a really powerful 6 drop turn when you're going second. If anything, you're playing more for your 8 Dawn and your 10 Dawn turn, or having like a really greedy 4 drop turn and that extra card draw. They've almost balanced the game around like 6 drops not being that great. I don't think there are many 6 drops that feel really impactful. So having something like this is actually like really good for the game, like in the sense that leaders that have this kind of weak spot on that 6th line could just start to slot this in. Well, especially Red Black Sabo can do it. But so this is like feeling like they're being like, okay, we can make good 6 drops now. We're allowed to do that. You know, going second is not so broken that like we can't make good 6 drops.
Yeah. I do wonder how this compares to just like your standard OP04 Sabo, in terms of just like usefulness. Like, yes, you like this is, I definitely think, good for the Sabo leader. But when I think back to that OP04 Sabo, it's like you're losing 1,000 power, you play it a turn earlier, and you get to cycle 2 cards and protect your board at the same time. So it's like, it might be like kind of taking the spot of that in some decks, or like doing a similar kind of thing. But if your deck is consistent enough, then you really don't need that OP04 Sabo anymore. That was really like a very important consistency card. As well as like it just became like this blocker you recur at the end of the game. But like, at its initial kind of phase, it was this card you play to just cycle bricks out of your hand and fill up your trash.
Yeah.
So this kind of, to me, seems very similar to that. Like it's kind of this similar mid-rangey Sabo that does useful things.
Yeah. And then like I think like activate main, so like it's a good setup card too. So you're just like repeating it. So it lets you get that kind of consistency go. Like it lets you kind of like castle up is what I call it. When you start to build your castle and you're like, okay, once I establish enough of these like castle units, now I'm like unkillable, or now I have like my setups prepared to constantly do these things. And
that's true. Yeah, actually, I didn't realize. I didn't clock activate main, even though we said it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It was like on play. But yeah, no, like,
I thought that was like I didn't notice that until like my third reader. I was like, oh yeah, this is great. Every turn +2. We've seen a stage that does that, and it's pretty good.
It's pretty good, and the rested dawn every turn as well. Like that's really helpful.
That's why some Gecko players want to like play, because they're like, oh, I get to like
okay, that's
get
good.
it one easier.
That's good.
It's a lot of value.
Yeah. And like I just want to like shout out to Savannah, like the secret rares, the base art versions have just gotten nicer and nicer, where I'm like, I'm never mad to see, like they're just gorgeous when you see a secret rare.
They are, but this is also altar bait. So just
oh yeah.
Every time I see these cards, you pull it and you're like, oh, it looks like a altar, and you're like, oh, it's just the secret rare.
Yeah, that's a skill issue, I think.
Yeah. Super searchable. I rate it.
Yeah, initially I was like, shouldn't this have 1k counter? And then I read every single thing that it does, and it's like, well, it's pretty darn good.
Mad searchable too.
Yeah. Alright, we got Shanks. This is a green SR, 10 cost 12k. It's got film typing, 4 Emperors of course, and red-haired pirates on play. Set up to all of your Dawn cards as active. Then you cannot play any cards from your hand during this turn. It's fascinating.
Yeah, slash type as well. So goes into your slash package.
Yep.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, like Prona, like the Prona searcher that searches like slash package for like Zoro and all those other like slash searchable. And to a less important degree film searchable, because I don't think Uta really, we were talking about this earlier, like I don't think green Uta really cares about this card that much. Like you can play it, but then it feels like 9-drop Shanks is just better in that situation, and then you can't use events. If based on this translation, you can't use events, which if you could use events but not play characters, then this would be broken for green film Uta. It would be insane how much work you'd get done in one turn. But no, it's like, this card just seems super fun. Like I'm like, I don't think it's for green film Uta, but I'm assuming this will be for red-green Luffy support. And in general, just a thing to kind of bolster out the green bomb packages as things are rotating out and whatnot. It just looks like a really fun card.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting, like that condition of not being able to play any cards from your hand during this turn. Like Kobe, you pointed out, like does that apply to events too? Because events are like activated. It does seem not that great. It just seems like there's better green. Like green has some pretty good bombs right now. So I'm trying to think of like, why would I play this over just like the existing Shanks that allows you to, you know, KO anything that's been rested? Or why would I play that even over something like Hody, which like just usually advances the game state in a way that like puts a lot of pressure on your opponent, turning off their defense. And so it's definitely kind of interesting, but we are also seeing like this very like wall style emerging from green. I mean, it's always been a wall deck, but with the new Mihawk, right? Like the new Mihawk, that's like, you know, you get 4 non-active, you get this blocker forever. And now it's like, now you play Shanks the turn after. You've got this big blocker here. You've got like 1 million Dawn for events. You can do a big swing. It's kind of interesting. Like we're definitely like still on track for green as a kind of rampy, or not, sorry, as a wall deck. And I guess I'm imagining too, like imagine if you have like a kid on the board, you can set all your Dawn as active, you can give a Dawn to kid, and then you can do other stuff as well, right?
Yeah.
So like if you play like a kid and then you play this after you play the kid, you can still kind of do interesting things. You can't use kid effect to play another blocker though, because you can't play any cards from your hand.
Oh, you can't play any cards from your hand, even if it's using an ability, yeah.
I guess not,
because it can't be from your hand. Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting. Like, I'm very curious how this is gonna land.
Yeah. I'm excited for like I like, even if this, like my assumption is that there is going to be red green Luffy support that makes this make more sense, like because then you can like play this, swing for 10, and then like have this 5 Dawn up to use for counter, and then this will like stick around and be a body next turn to help you close up the game. But I think like even if that wasn't a thing, I just like this as like a fun card of like, now you have this option of playing, like sometimes you just want to play out the body, right? The body, like almost like you're playing out of vanilla, but now you're like, I play out of vanilla and then I swing all my units weird numbers and leave up like 4 Dawn for events.
Yeah.
And then pass.
Yeah.
And then it's like very annoying, right?
Yeah.
But who knows where it actually lands? Like I'm gonna have like
Is this going in your red green Oden
Yeah,
deck?
yeah. It'd be funny. Like literally, I would play it in my red green Oden deck for that exact reason. It's like I just want to build a bomb for next turn.
Yeah.
And then swing a lot, and then hold up enough Dawn to not die, and that's like my whole turn. Hopefully this will be really fun. But I just like the idea of seeing someone restand all 10 of their Dawn. Just feels really fun. I can't wait to see it happen. It's like, and then I think when you see it happen, you'll be like, that's insane, and it'll be really funny because you'll just see it like,
Yeah.
huh, this is crazy.
Yeah, and I mean, especially in red-green leaders who have a lot of defense anyway. Like you play Oden like Whitebeard, where you've got like all these defensive events, right? So it's like play this, swing like some number, and then just like have all this drawn up. Pass.
Yeah.
Go
Next
for
turn,
it.
you can counter 12 and
Next time
15.
yeah, exactly.
It's just like one more turn. But yeah, hopefully it'll be fun. But what was something? There was like one other lead I think it might have been good with. I'll come back to it some other time. But yeah, no, excited to play this.
Here's the 10 cost 12k blue Edward Newgate. This is for Emperor's typing and Whitebeard Pirates. This is a blocker, and on play, draw 2, trash 1, then give your leader and up to one of your characters up to 2 rested Dawn cards each.
Another blue bomb.
Built for I guess Ace and also for like basically to give all the blue Whitebeard leaders like some support. But I guess the new Ace also uses this well too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like objective cycling, right? Because it's draw 2, trash 1, so you're not losing this card in hand when you play it. So, and you can cheat this off the event, right?
I believe you can, yeah.
Yeah, because I think there was like the event. I always forget it. We don't have to pull it up right now, but like yeah, if you guys want to we haven't like pulled it up yet, but like into our site. But this can be cheated out. It's on neutral. Seems like it's not terrible. I mean, like you're getting on curve stats. You're getting a blocker, which means that you're not going to lose the game the turn after, potentially, if you play this. You get to cycle, you get to draw 2, discard 1, and then you get to assign both a leader and a character 2 rested Dawn cards. So if you have any characters that you want to swing for higher, you can do that. If they have any effects that activate when they're dawned up, you can do that. If you have a leader ability that activates when you're dawned up, like then there's also that too. So it kind of sounds like this is just like generic Whitebeard support. It's not specifically for any specific combo, so much as it's just like, you play this on 10 and you get the body, you get all these advantages and all these little effects, and you're not unhappy because you have a blocker now.
Yeah, I mean, it's starting to seem like the kind of bombs that Blue's always felt like it needs a really, like it has strong bombs, but all of them are like not that strong actually. They seem strong on paper, like Kaido, draw a bunch of cards, or Kaido, bounce a bunch of things. Like they all seem strong, but it actually, when it works out, because blue is such a slow color, that just doesn't really, it can remove things, but it has a hard time establishing like really strong bodies. It's like you play your Bob and then you just die the turn after, or they end up getting so many cards out of your hand, it's better to not even play it. And so this starts to resolve that issue by saying like, okay, here's a bomb, it lets you continue to put pressure, it replaces itself in hand, and it can block like one of those big swings. And it's the kind of thing where it's like, it kind of reminds me of the 8 cost Kata now, where it's like you play this, you're kind of stable, and then you play another one. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, is the game just over? Because I can't muster more than, a couple swings every turn, right? And blue decks also traditionally can counter out a lot. Like they can actually keep their life pretty high because they have ways of drawing cards. So it's like if you can keep your life total high enough, keep the board clean and drop this, it's kind of like a Blackbeard situation where it's
like you're literally shading 10 beards, but like shading a different kind of 10 beard.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good they canonically made like all Emperors like 10-12s like now, but yeah, no, and this isn't even leader locked actually. So I realized like this is like kind of like the Shanks before it. It's kind of just like generic 10-drop support to help kind of fill out this color a bit more, give it some more like identity, but it's a card.
Yeah.
So you can play this with 8 Dawn with the I Am Whitebeard event from ST22.
Wow, that's a pretty loaded 8 Dawn turn. And I guess if you're playing Marco, you can 9 Dawn to perfect it, because it's the top card, right? So on 9 Dawn, you could play this. Not bad. And then swing for 8? Pretty good.
Yeah. I mentioned this before, but I do like how you have the 10 cost options that you can play more defensively, so you won't just immediately die the turn after. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, and I mean, like, just being so, like, such a high power. Like, it just blocks anything, right? Like, especially if you're going second, like, you're just blocking anything that can come your way.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be cool. I wonder if like maybe you could use this in something like Boa or even like Blue Dofi. You play this really strong mid-range game as like Blue Dofi, and people usually don't swing at your life, and you start dropping these down. Like that feels pretty strong.
Oh yeah, I would like. Yeah. Oh.
All right, Prometheus, we're back with the homies. This is a purple 5-cost 6k 2k counter. So this is just one of those French vanilla cards.
Yeah, French vanillas. Yeah, normalize calling them French vanillas. They're French vanillas. Yeah, pack filler, French vanilla. What could we say more? I mean, like they've been, the more of these French vanillas and the more of these like 2k counters that are in the pack just makes sealed just way more fun when you're playing it with like Rainbow Luffy, because like there's so many 2ks, you're actually choosing which ones. Like people used to say put every 2k and every blocker into your deck for sealed. That is no longer the case. Like you get so many blockers and 2ks that like if you don't actively choose which ones are going in the deck, you might have a deck that has all 2ks but no gas and no actual like actions in your deck. So the more of this, the better. Yeah.
And sometimes these can slot in weird places as well, which is what's kind of neat about them. I know, like, for example, there's like I want to say it's like a Navy Punk Hazard version of this that like smokers, for example, run like 2 of them right now.
Oh, you're talking X-Drakes.
Yeah,
the X-Drakes, the Navy and Sword,
Yeah, Navy and Sword, because it's just like, it fills in a slot as a 2K, and sometimes you just need to play it on curve to like help you. Like, so it's like, it's kind of cool to kind of get just the different options to fill in slots for decks. Because actually, like, I mean, traditionally Big Mom had like a lot of good 2Ks in the yellow side, but as a 2K, like sometimes you just need something that's like, if I have nothing to play, which happens from time to time, I can just slam this down. And like I have a body, it hits all these 6K leaders. So I think it's good to just, like, it's more for sealed, I think. Like they play more of a role, but also in some of these kind of like more rogue decks, they can just fill in slots.
Exactly, yeah. Like I'm excited for the Cabbage or Emoji that's coming out in the next set. That's like a 5-cost 6K, 2K for Cross Guild for Buggy. Like, yeah, sometimes like I actually kind of want that more than the current one that I'm running. So
yeah.
There you go. Jewelry Bonney, yellow character, 5-cost 6k, 1k counter. This is a Supernova and Bonney Pirates typing. If this character would leave the field due to an opponent's effect, you may instead turn 1 card from the top of your life area face up, and a trigger of draw 2, trash 1.
We're seeing the curve out. We're seeing like Lilith, Bonney, just like everything coming together. But yeah, this is just another good 5-drop, right? That you can just drop on 5, swing 7, and then it's really hard to remove after that.
Yeah, and it has that trend of all the yellow cards now we're seeing where all the triggers are like draw 2, trash 1, like filter. So I kind of like, I mean, I do like this as someone who wasn't a fan of like the other triggers that were a little too impactful. It does seem like all the yellow cards nowadays have triggers that are just like, if you hit it, it just helps you cycle stuff. Helps increase the consistency of the deck, makes the deck less of just like, I hope I high roll a trigger, and more of like, oh, okay, like this is my consistency engine now. It actually comes from my life getting hit. And every time you hit my life, you risk actually like helping me get more consistency, as opposed to like, you know, a game-ending body, or I'm going to remove your most important part of the board. So I kind of like the trend on the trigger side, and then of course that trigger works with Bonney effect, leader effect, and then it's like you just can't remove anything anymore. Like sorry, Lucci, like there's just like nothing leaves the field. Which I guess is one way of dealing with the fact that at one point everything was leaving the field.
I mean, I was thinking like, does this help? Like, because it's not Egghead, so it's not Egghead searchable, but it is Supernova searchable. So like you can play on Bonney, and then I was like, oh, does like green, yellow, law, can you like run like a copy of this to the just like help you against Blackbeard? I was like, oh no, but there's other things that you do in that matchup that can help you more than this card. But it's, I guess, still nice to have this. And like, if you flip the top life and you can see that it's a Supernova that you can like bring out with Law Build, you're like, jackpot. It's like kind of the fun thing about it, but no one's gonna remove this unless it can actually remove it twice. So wait, is this once per turn? No, it's not, but it won't matter because unless you can flip it again.
Yeah, it's basically once per turn.
But if you could
well, I suppose
because it's not once per turn, so if you had a way to pick up that life, then technically you can do it.
Yeah, so if you had like a zombie Luffy swinging at you, trying to trash you, you could flip it, then to take the hit, and then flip the next one on the next attempt.
Yeah, something crazy like that. But
I mean,
kind of cute.
Yeah, if somebody wants to try and KO this twice, it's dead. Like, it's yours. Like,
you
I'll
burned
take the resources. It got it. You know, it did its job.
Sunny-kun, green character, 1 cost 2k with 1k counter. This is Film and Straw Hat Crew. Activate main once per turn. You may rest 1 of your Dawn. This character gains 2k power until the end of your opponent's next turn.
I mean, you think that 10 new 10 cost Shanks, one of those Dawn can go here. One of those 10 Dawn that you're standing can go here to help your emotional support, Sunny-kun. Super cute. I miss having a playable Sunny from like back in the eras of Zoro and the 1 cost 3K Sunny, but Sunny's back in the game. But I feel like this must be red green support somehow. Like it must factor into those decks. Very similar themes as the red. It's almost like you're doing things because you want Rested Dawn in the red-green Luffy Leader. There's like a reason for you to want Rested Dawn. Yeah. This seems to be playing towards that. And it's pretty stat efficient if you think about it. Like
really stat efficient.
Yeah, because like, for 1 Dawn, it's going up to 4K, right? I mean, if it was a red card, it'd be busted, but that's why it's not red.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's just like, on paper it seems not good, but we don't know what's coming. And then, like you're saying, from a stat perspective, it's actually quite significantly statted. So yeah, it could be really, really good. I mean, a 1 cost 4,000 power is kind of crazy when you think about it. I mean, but you have to rest one of your Dawn, so it's actually like a 2 cost, right? Yeah. Yeah, so it actually is like a 2/4.
So it's a 1 cost 3K vanilla, realistically, because if you Dawn a 1 cost 3K by 1, it becomes a 4K. Yeah. So this is like a weird, like it's almost like a typing advantage, and the fact that resting the Dawn instead of attaching it is meaningful. Yeah. So it really comes down to like, why does Red Green Luffy care so much about Rested Dawn? And then maybe we'll find out. Yeah, yeah,
yeah. I mean, even with like the current package and like Cavendish and stuff like that, where you're restunning Dawn and trying to make that more effective, and with the Luffy Leader effect, I mean, maybe you can just keep being defensive and like protect your Sunny whenever they swing into it. So who knows?
Sunny-kun. Yeah. Super searchable.
Oh yeah, we love that. Haruta, the Whitebeard Pirates, blue character, 1 cost 2K power and 1K counter. When attacking, if you have 4 or fewer cards in your hand, draw 1 card.
They drew him like a shoujo like you don't talk about where it's like the sparkles and everything. I was like, they drew him like a shoujo character. I think this is like I was saying this to you guys earlier. Like I think this is like almost like a Whitebeard typed Ivankov, where people in Marco, like Red Blue Marco, I've been running a lot of the 3 cost Ivankov character that like draws on attack, and I think seeing that like I think whenever Bandai sees a deck use a card that's out of its typing really well, they're like, oh, we should just give it to it in its typing then. Right. And then it feels like this is that where they're kind of respecing that card. Where like, oh, you want to kind of like make up hand resources in the early game if you're like expecting a really grindy battle or a battle where you're gonna need those extra cards to counter out. Then you can like play out the Haruta. That way you can like maybe counter out early and then draw that extra card that you lost back and clear the little body, right? Yeah. So I think it's like, yeah, this is kind of creating that Ivankov style effect that's drawing on attack, balancing it around that it's 1 cost and then giving it Whitebeard typing. So it's just like, I think overall I love cards like these because yeah, it's kind of just giving the typing more of what you're seeing work in the ecosystem.
Yeah. I can also see like it would be nice if there was like some cool like bounce effects that would work with this. Like, it's not quite there yet because I was thinking like in something like Dofi, it would be fun to like play this, swing, bounce it back to hand, like do like fun things like that. But having the 4 or fewer cards less in hand is much more of like a Marco-y kind of thing. Yep. So yeah, it's just kind of a cool card. Yeah. Nice support.
Got to take advantage of cards like these for OP13 Nami before it rotates potentially. Yeah.
Oh god,
next year.
Nami support.
That's true. Everything is Nami's. Like always Nami support.
Every blue card is Nami support. 10 drop Newgate.
I was trying to think about how to use that.
You know what? You play 7 drop Croc. Yeah. Then when you play 10 drop Whitebeard, you can attach the 2 Dawn to it. Right. And then you can now play all your 1 drop events for free, and you have a 12K blocker. That's
oh, you just found the sauce.
It's so dumb.
All planned. When you manage to pull that off with no searching.
Yeah, if you pull that off, that's game. That's fine. You win.
All right, we are hitting the Roger package now. So first up, we got Shanks here, 1 cost 2K with 1K counter. On play, look at 5 cards from the top of your deck, reveal up to 1 card with Roger Pirates in its types other than Shanks and add it to your hand, then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. Standard searcher for Roger.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and we've been seeing like really busted searchers, so I'm glad it's not like that. It's just like an old-fashioned searcher.
Oh, like busted with like another activate main effect on top of it?
Yeah, I mean, it is like a top 5, like some purples have been top 4, but Yeah. But at least it's just top 5. It's not like
Top
top
five
5
search?
and like
Yeah.
ramp 4 Dawn and play.
Yeah. I think top 4 only applies when it searches like 2 typings or 2 things, right?
Oh.
Yeah, like Law searches both hard pirates and straw
Right.
hat.
Yeah.
Right. That's true.
Yeah. All right, well, that's a good way to start off. And we got a stage here, Oro Jackson Go, who's a 1-cost stage. Once per turn, when one of your characters with Roger's Pirates in its type is removed from the board by one of your opponent's effects, add up to 1 Dawn card from your Dawn deck rested.
That's hard. This is a hard one. It seems like a large cost to like just to run this, right? Because there's some decks that just don't remove anything, so it's just like a dead card. I don't think you'll be able to afford dead cards in Roger, but it does mean that like in a certain meta, or if there was like a heavy removal meta, like Roger could just play this, and then if you try and remove his stuff, he gets to do exactly what he wants to do, and what all of his cards do anyway, which is ramp him. So it's like it already gives Roger a ton of flexibility out of the gate. Whether it'll actually be necessary or not, we'll have to see.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's good to, like, have this in your toolbox, but not need it per se. Like, yeah, it's searchable, it's a 1-cost, so it's easy to play. To your point, like, we've seen stages like this before, and they haven't seen play. But I guess, like, I mean, you don't hate... I mean, like, yeah, like, it's probably not going to be that great, but it's interesting to see it in the toolbox. I mean, if you end up with a meta that's really removal heavy, then you can run this, and suddenly, like, you're already prepared for that, like, outcome and whatnot. But yeah, it's searchable, so that's like definitely really cool. But yeah, I feel like there's better ways to ramp up high. I was trying to think, does Roger have any purple cycling effects? I don't think it has released so far any, but it does have, I guess the only way to cycle is like your red cards. You can use like the red Rayleigh, like the 5-cost blocker one, to cycle this out of your hand. But like that's one of the biggest fears of running stages, right? Is if you have no way to get rid of it from your hand, then it's just stuck there, which can be like a bad feeling.
Yeah, and definitely consistency is the name of the game right now in One Piece. Like the decks that are really good right now are like exceedingly consistent, almost all of them, and like UP, GP are like the most consistent decks we've ever seen ever. So I think if you want to be able to compete in current One Piece, you need consistency, and this does not help with that. And again, I'm just thankful that it doesn't have an additional effect on it, like draw 1, like
draw
a GP or
1,
something.
then do this. Then it'd be like, oh, then this.
Yeah, it does seem like they like perhaps the design of Roger is that he's quite strong, but maybe he won't be as consistent as some of these other decks.
Buggy.
2 cost,
2k power, and 2k counter. On play, if your leader has Roger Pirates included in its types, and there is any given Dawn, which Roger Leader tends to do every turn, add up to 1 Dawn card as rested. So this was always the question of like, can you ramp on 3? Now you can with this.
Yes. And it's 2k, so this is like must play. I think this is just 4 of, right?
Yeah, auto, like definitely, because it ramps you, it's a 2k, there's no reason not to play it. If anything, remember how we talked about like the SP we were hoping for? I hope, odds are the Shanks searcher gets the altar. Okay, I'm odds are that's gonna happen. But I hope they make an SP of this where it's the 2 of them fighting about the North and South Pole, and it's like Rayleigh in the back. But if I had to guess, it's the Shanks getting the altar for this set because it's a searcher.
Yeah, they are both rares, so there's some hope here. But and then they could do like if they did
they could do the
altar with joint art where they like you can put them together and then like Rayleigh's in the middle like separating them. That would be like peak.
That'd be incredible. Oh my god,
Yeah,
that's a collector's item.
Yeah. Well, they tend to make all sorts of anyway of 2k, so even if it's not in the set, they tend to do. They tend to make 2ks.
Oh, that would be.
So there's room still in the future.
There's a world where this can happen.
So we can add that to the survey next year for our requests.
Yeah, more joint cards. More joint cards.
It's like the competitive survey, and everyone's just like, more joint cards. Like, that's not our department.
I don't care.
Do you want more regionals in your area? No, I want more Buggy reprints. Okay, following this curve here, there's a 3-cost Inuarashi 3k power, 1k counter. This also has a Minx typing as well as Roger Pirates. On play, if you have any given Dawn, add up to 1 Dawn from your Dawn deck rested, then KO up to one of your opponent's cost 1 or lower characters.
This is a kind of an aside, but I don't understand this. Like, if you have any given Dawn, they should have just said if your leader's Roger.
Yeah.
Like, maybe they're trying to future-proof it. It's just like we said last week. It's confusing for newer players. Like, I don't think it just adds like an extra line of text that doesn't, like, implying that you have to have given Dawn, like it kind of implies that you could not have that, which currently there's no way to do that with the leader. So I see what they're doing, but I kind of just wish they would have just made everything like if your leader is Roger and left it at that. Yeah, it helps you ramp. Like random KOs like I don't know if this will be played yet. We still have to see like all the pieces, but it does seem like, again, like Roger's getting all the support he needs. And like we talked about last week, where we were saying, okay, well, we have to see where this leader goes. Like, are they going to actually give him all the ramp support in his typing? The answer is yes. Here is all the ramp support in his typing, and every character we're going to go through, we're going to just see the same thing.
We're just seeing like ramps on every curve line.
Yeah.
For Roger.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is just get rid of a random Bonney searcher, get rid of like a Nami that searches for event search, like just
Yeah.
Just one of those like simple things
that might bother you later out of the way and ramp.
And just mostly just ramp though. Man.
Yeah.
There it is.
All right, Kouzuki Oden. 5 cost, 6k power, 1k counter. This one has Wano typing, Kouzuki clan typing, and Roger pirates. This is a blocker, and on play, if you have any Dawn cards given, add up to 1 Dawn card from your Dawn deck and rest it.
Yeah, I mean, just we're seeing a curve on, or we're seeing a ramp on 2, on 3, on like, well, in this case, like it's all set back because you're Roger, so you're 1 down behind. But yeah, we're seeing ramps on like 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is just, we've seen this effect before. We saw like the Dofi B-Berry, some of the purple one, that's 5, 6 at ramps. This one has the added condition that I guess like you have to be at 6 Dawn because you're Roger, so the one is attached. It's a blocker, so you don't hate that. But then it's also kind of anti-synergy because you're gonna be a 7k leader eventually, and you probably don't want to throw, it almost, when you're a 6 or 7k leader, it almost feels bad to throw a 5, 6 blocker in the way because you're like,
Yeah.
But it's good to have the option, and also early game, it's gonna protect you a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it does feel though like I think it might be a necessary block. Like you might get to a point where like the way I'm imagining Roger working, let's hope it's like this way, is that it's like every game's kind of like a rush to the finish line.
Yeah.
And so you just need that blocker to like block that 1 extra attack before you take off. And that's kind of, I think, what this is for. So actually, I kind of imagine this as being one of the more important pieces we've seen. Yeah. Like you probably really want to see this. Just so that you have that block when you need it. Because I imagine everyone's going to be trying to kill you the turn before you become a god, and no one can stop you. And so this just easily deals with that. And of course, it's 6,000 power, so it stops 5k swings as well without dying. So it just seems like a core mid-game piece of the puzzle, and it's kind of like how UP has the Nami. That's kind of doing a similar thing.
It's very similar to Nami.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'll be sick, and it's getting like a best selection alt art, which is gonna be sick too.
Yep.
Yeah, that's why this art looks like so crazy, because it is the premium collection one.
Yeah.
I love it so much.
Best selection. And I'm glad that they're doing that for future cards now, instead of like getting a best selection where you're like, oh, I don't know if it's playable. Like, it's almost nice that they're looking more forward facing, even though they could guess it wrong. You don't have a card that's like, well, the leader is for his band, so let's hope.
Yeah, because the spoiler art for this was this best collection one. I was like, whoa, what the heck?
Yeah,
that's unconventional. Scopper Gaban. This is a 6 cost, 7k power, 1k counter. On play, if your leader has a Roger Pirates. Included in its type, draw 2, trash 1, then add up to 1 Dawn card from your Dawn deck rested. So this one doesn't specify the having 1 Dawn attached.
Yeah.
Confusing.
It's different.
Oh, we were saying, is there cycling in this deck? There is cycling in this deck.
Yeah.
To help you kind of get rid of bricks and help you a bit. But it's played on 7 Dawn.
Yeah.
So it does set you back a bit, but it doesn't prove you're going second curve? I can never remember now because the Dawn counts are so weird with Roger.
Yeah, you have to almost like draw it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so this is good. This is your draw 2, discard 1. Again, so like, I feel like I'm going through like the stages of like loss or something, or I'm like trying to just like
of grief,
because like last week I was like, okay, like they released this really OP leader, but he doesn't have a good way to ramp yet. He's like, now they're like, oh, here's a good way to ramp, and then I was like, okay, well, he has a good way to ramp. Hopefully, he won't be too consistent. It's like, well, this helps him be more consistent. So I am starting to think the way this leader might be balanced is with consistency, which I don't always love, but like this is a consistency piece, but it comes very, very late.
Yeah.
And so it might already be too late by the time you play this. This comes down quite late in the game. It's not really that, like, yes, it's ramping you a Dawn, but that's it. It's not blocking for you. It doesn't have a great stat line for a 6 cost. I mean, it's like 6, 7, but again, given how strong you're about to be in like a turn, it doesn't really feel like what you necessarily would want to be doing on this turn. So I'm not even sure if it would be played or not. because I do think you really want like defensive options more than this, because you're already going to have the power that you need.
Yeah.
So it'll just depend on like if this is just like your last chance to like see the last couple pieces you need by drawing and discarding. But just that draw discard feels so late in terms of like the life of the deck and the fact that you're trying to survive for so long. But who knows? Like we see in UP that it like doesn't actually matter. Like your consistency piece can hit like at the end of the game.
Yeah.
And as long as you have that consistency piece, it does matter. So maybe there's a world where it doesn't matter so much. But again, I'm contrasting this with other decks that just seem to have very, very high consistency right now.
Yeah.
And like again, GP is kind of like the best example of that, where you've got like a trillion searchers and card replacement effects. But also like Bella Betty has their stage now, and like a searcher is quite consistent. Buggy has his stage that makes him quite consistent. Decks like GY Law have like multiple ways of searching and finding pieces. Bonney has kind of like, is one of the least consistent decks right now, but at least has like multiple ways of searching. And so it really will, like this is currently on the very, very low consistency side.
Yeah. We haven't seen them like flush this out to the point like, yeah, we're seeing some like to your point, like we're not seeing a second searcher, we're not seeing a thing that just objectively draws early game, and then like we're not seeing yet, in theory, we haven't seen things like a radical beam for like in its colors yet. Like I think there's going to be a Roger specific radical beam style event. That's gonna also help with consistency. Like even if it was like a toned down Gum Gum Giant, which they probably will get. I think those things will be the pieces that I'm missing. You kind of foretold this would eventually happen. I think years ago we were talking about this. It's like, searching is so inconsistent. Like we're talking about like complaining about how like certain decks just didn't have good searching. And it's like, well, one day like all the searches will exist and everyone will have a search for everything. And like,
it's like, so I'm gonna say right now it's feeling to me like Shanks. Like it kind of feels like Shanks. How Shanks did in OP09, where it's like this. It's so strong when it sees everything. Like. But when it doesn't see everything, it's not that strong. And Shanks similarly had like one searcher and one kind of like consistency piece that was highly conditional in the Rayleigh that only helped it against Dofi. And now we're seeing like this is kind of like that. Like you got so far one searcher, one consistency piece that's usually too late to do anything. And so we could just see this being similar to Shanks. Because Shanks did the same thing, and Shanks had the most powerful late game in the game at that point, really, with the 10 cost Shanks. And I don't think that Shanks was great for the game. I mean, it was good in the sense that like it was easy to pilot. It was a good deck to like get people into the game and feel strong on. But at the same time, it was very much this like, do I see my curve or do I not? And if I don't see my curve, I just feel bad and like get depressed. And so I think this could be like that.
Seeing with the Rayleigh piece being like 8 cost Rayleigh in red is searchable in this deck. It's searchable. That's true. Which is gonna be kind of funny, but to your point, like whether or not Shanks style decks are like. They're fun, they're easy to pilot and whatnot, but like because they're like, I've seen some people were not even running Searcher in their Shanks list, almost because they felt like it made the deck have too much thinking, or if you didn't see it, or like they were just like, let's just omit this amount of thinking from the deck completely, which was really funny to me. Which was like, searching is a way to misplay. No, then I won't do it at all.
I'm just gonna draw what I need, and if I don't draw it, I lose.
I remember some people saying where like some beginners were like, the Searcher is harder to play in the deck. It's like, oh yeah, because if you misplay your Searcher, you would potentially lose the game. But then if you just rely purely on top deck, then it won't matter. And it's better to just have more bombs. But it was, I don't know, it's just funny. But we'll see how that shapes up, because I think there's still so many cards to reveal still left, especially in Roger's crew even.
And here's Silver's Rayleigh. 8 cost 9k power. It has rush, and on play, if you have any given Dawn, rest up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 5 or less. Then at the end of this turn, add up to 1 Dawn card from your Dawn deck is active.
To me this feels like, again, I'm kind of situating all these cards now in Shanks. This kind of feels like Dragon. Like it's like the Roger Dragon, not searchable. Like it's like this really, really strong rusher that like comes out of the gate. That can either like put a lot of pressure somewhere, right? In terms of Dragon, like you can't rest something, so you're usually swinging at something rested or at life. Whereas this has the option now of like resting something that's annoying and then swinging at that if you really, really want to. Of course, in like the current meta, that's great because you could like rest the Sanji Pudding and lay into it in a big way and clear it. So it kind of just feels like that, like that 8 cost rusher that comes down and is pretty strong. And of course, in this case, it is searchable. So. That's good.
I was saying how like this makes me think that there's going to be a radical beam in Roger Pirate's typing, because it sets the Dawn as active. Because like I thought of it, like when you play this card, you have to play it on 9 Dawn, right? Because one is going to be assigned. So you play this on 9, you ramp to 10, but there's no reason to ramp to 10, except I realized that it's active Dawn. So odds are there's some synergy where like that one active Dawn is meant for an event.
Yeah, this lets you go like bam, punch, and then defend.
Save one to defend the next turn. Because you on this turn you'd already be 7k, so it must be that one Dawn active must be for some reason, like some defensive. Like we joked about a card called like what would make Rayleigh playable, like the new red one. I was like, because we hadn't seen the full support, I was like Rayleigh Giant. It's like it's basically Gum Giant, but like in Rayleigh typing. But yeah, this makes me feel like there will be a radical beam.
You're definitely right about that. Yeah.
One active Dawn. But yeah, I love this card for like to your point, just clear board, rush into it.
Yeah, and that does seem really gross. Because like you're ramping and against decks that don't ramp, like they're like 5 costs are so important right now. Like in almost every color has like crucial 5 costs that need to stick on the board. And so like being able to rest it and then do a huge swing into it, it's always feels really, really, really good. Even if it sticks, like you're getting so many cards out of their hand, and then you can just clear it next turn. And this is such a big body, you're never swinging into this. Like this is just gonna stay forever.
Would you ever play this in a non-Roger? Because it's actually not leader luck. I think I keep forgetting this, that none of these things are truly like Roger luck. But I was like, what leader would you want to get an active Dawn and then swing potentially like 6 or 7 by having this Dawn attached to your league? So you're forced to assign on 9 Dawn.
Right. So this would be like a 9 Dawn play, right?
For 9 Dawn play, you attach 1 to your leader first before you play this, and then you set 1 active at the end of the turn. And you rest the 5 card.
Honestly, it's not great in Shanks, but it doesn't seem as bad as you would initially think.
Oh no, is it? That's not red, is it? Is it red?
Oh,
no, it's purple.
Purple.
It's
purple. Yeah, right.
So yeah, it has to be like.
Yeah, it has to be like
red, purple, Luffy or something, which I don't think can. I don't think it matters because why would you play this in red, purple, Luffy if you can just play it in Roger?
Yeah.
But I was just trying to think because it's always nice to have like rushers at the 8 or 9 cost line, but yeah.
I guess you could play in like purple kata because you are Dawn minusing on the swing, so you can get it back.
Yeah, I mean it'll be gone, but this might be good in UP.
Yeah, mono purple can't really use this. Mono purple Luffy.
Yeah, like UP could use this for sure, right? Like it's kind of like the blue Luffy. It kind of does a similar thing where you play the blue Luffy, except you don't have to trash a card from your hand as a turn later. The reason blue Luffy's good is because as UP, you sometimes have these awkward 8 Dawn turns before your leader effect comes into play, where you usually want to play Kata, and if you have the blue Luffy, that extends that. So you have just more targets. But like this kind of does what UP wants, which is it lets you clear something that's bugging you, and swing into it, and it gives you an active Dawn as well for your events like year 2.
Yeah,
it's not like it wouldn't be. I don't know if it would be great, but it.
But it's always cool to see, like whenever I see SR, I'm like, okay, I hope this is a card that can be flexible for other leaders too. Like it's always a nice thing to have.
Yeah.
Whenever you see an SR that's like, oh, this is like double usable, but yeah.
Yeah, purple Luffy too. Like purple Luffy could use this, right?
Yeah.
Like they already run the 9 cost Luffy, which of course is searchable, which is helpful, and it draws you a card so it replaces itself. But it's also kind of awkward because like typically, like people will play around that, and so you're just swinging life and giving them a card. So again, it's like another option where like you could play this if your goal is to clear their board.
Yeah.
And you really want to play for board, which is something that purple Luffy does. And then in purple Luffy, you don't actually care about gianting early. Yeah. So you're like, give me here's my Dawn, let me giant. Yeah. It's good, generic.
We'll see what happens. I mean, like if it does, I'll be like, oh, how big is it? Yeah. But I always love cool Rayleigh art too.
Yeah.
I wonder what kind of event they would get, because having like the 1 Dawn active, if it's an event that Dawn minuses, would be a super interesting choice, because that means you've hit 10 Dawn and you are now a 7k leader because of Rayleigh. But if you now Dawn minus, you lose that, plus you can't play 10 cost Roger next turn.
I bet you it'll actually be Rayleigh Giant. Like, it's a joke, but I bet you it would actually be Rayleigh Giant, where it's like, imagine you just give Gum Giant, put to Roger, and then you're like, well, there it is. This whole deck has been built. It's complete. Like -2 Dawn, because then it's like there's a lot of things you can do to get back. Like, because then when you do this and you do that effect -2 Dawn, you're back to 10 the next turn. Because this will ramp you to 10. So even if you -2 Dawn for this event,
you're back.
You're back.
That's true. Yeah. So actually, the Dawn minus isn't that much of a. It would have to be like a big Dawn minus to actually make it like a cost.
It'd have to be at -3 Dawn to actually force you to. No, you would still be a 7k leader. Yeah, so who knows?
Yeah, you can always ramp back. Yeah.
And anyway,
it just prevents the 10 cost Roger, but we'll see how many people like play it a lot.
So we'll see, but
yeah.
Like you heard it from here first, it'll be Ray Giant. Ray Giant.
All right.
The
Gol
boss
D
man
Roger.
himself.
Yeah, so 10 cost 13k power. This is the second 13k power character in the game, right?
Yes.
The first one being the first
one
Roger.
was Roger, right? Yeah.
Looks like this is only for King of the Pirates stat line.
Mm-hmm.
Negate the effects of your leader and negate the effects of your characters without Roger pirates included in their types. That is fun. On play, Don -3 up to one of your leader gains 2k power until your opponent's next end phase, then give all of your opponent's characters -2k power until your opponent's next end phase. Wow. The negate the effects of your leader is super interesting because that means you no longer need to be at 10 Don to be 7k. On play, this makes it a 9k leader up until the end of your opponent's turn.
Oh, and it also prevents you from doing silly things with, like, if you have things like the 5 cost blocker kit or like pudding, from basically keeping yourself at 10 for the next turn, like by getting the Dawn refunded back, because you negate the board first before you do any on plays. So it's also saying like, oh, if you have anything that's gonna say like, unless it's Roger type and says that you can get Dawn back, you're gonna be at 9 Dawn next turn.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting. Like I'm really like it does. Okay, so it does seem like the intention here is to force you into Roger Pirates, right? Like that does seem like the intention. So it's like if you want to run this, which is like seems like the boss monster for the deck, then you're not going to run the other really good purple cards like 8 cost Katakuri or like Lin Lin or something like that, because this would turn them off, and there's like anti-synergy. So the question now becomes like, is there enough Roger Pirates like support that this is enough of an end game win condition?
Oh.
Right? Or do you just not run this and just stick with your other good purple cards and be like, I'm going to ramp up, be a 7k leader, and just play good purple stuff?
Yeah, that's true, because I didn't realize that it's state, like it's perpetually, as long as it's in the field, that's always happening. Okay, I wasn't tuning into that. Yeah, I guess that's like the deck tech choice you have to make is like, do you want the bomb or would you rather have the purple toolbox?
Yeah, because right now that's what seems to be good about purple is like they're compared to blue, like their boss monsters are so good at doing what you want for the deck. Right.
8 Kata, 9 moms, all the stuff, 9 Luffy, like just like so much good stuff.
Yeah. Whereas like in the context of this, like so, like this. Okay, in theory this seems like a good bomb. Okay, it's like you're making your leader really really strong for the next turn. You're giving minus 2,000 power for 1 turn. You can't chain this, right? Because you're doing Dawn -3, right? So you can only play 1. And it's like, is that actually enough? Because you haven't been putting any pressure really down on your opponent for the entirety of the game. So like, if this comes down, like, do they just chill for a turn, right? And then you can't play another one, and then they kill you, right? Because now you're like, you might be, oh, but use a 7k. Yeah, there's a lot of ways of killing a 7k leader nowadays. Like there's a lot of strong cards in the game where if your opponent just is like, okay, I'll just set up because I'm not going to die. You're not going to actually kill me.
Yeah.
So let me just set up, and then after all of these minus effects are gone, let me just kill you.
Yeah.
Which makes me think that maybe you don't run this and maybe you run just like good purple stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I feel like this is probably like you know how in red decks, the first version of this was when someone goes wide, the punish is by playing 9-drop Whitebeard.
Yeah.
And then it became like in the Shanks era, like when someone goes wide, you play 10 Shanks that reduces power to punish people for going too wide.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe this is the answer for like if someone swarms board too much and is too aggressive with you, then and has a bunch of weak low-lying bodies and you play this, it helps you. It's almost like playing a 10 Shanks that reduces the power of the board to help you kind of recover back, but then it's only the 1 turn that's happening, right? But like I guess the nice thing is that they're getting the minus 2,000 on your turn too, so you can now clear their board that turn. So like I feel like this is like one of those boss monsters that's like you shouldn't probably actually play 4 of them, and you probably shouldn't even play it all the time. You should probably hold it for like when your opponent goes too wide and you're like, oh, time to punish this. Yeah. Because now the whole wide board doesn't matter because I'm a 9k leader and I can now swing a bunch of my swings into the board and just try to clear stuff.
Yeah.
It feels like a 10 it feels like a 10 Shanks or like it feels like it feels like a defensive bomb. I'm realizing now it's actually probably more of a defensive bomb.
Yeah, it's just interesting because I'm doing this and I'm trying to contrast this with like 10 Shanks, where it feels like it does feel like 10 Shanks does more of what Shanks wants to do because like Shanks' effect synergizes so well with the
Yeah.
10 Shanks, and then you get to swing at their board that same turn.
Yeah.
Right. So you're actually, or their life. So you're keeping up the pressure by saying, here's 12 now. Like, so if you feel like you're stable, I'm going to hit you at 12 at life, you're going to take. And the next turn, I'm going to hit you again 12 at life,
Yeah.
which potentially gives me lethal with my leader, right? Or with something like this, like you play this, it doesn't actually do anything.
Yeah.
It weakens the board, sure, it does. But like, I just don't know if Roger puts down enough pressure where it's like, you're like I'm just going to chill. Like you play this, I'm just going to like build up my board even stronger. Or do
Yeah.
like a big, really big leader swing or something like that. Like you use my Dawn to put as
Yeah.
much pressure as possible and then just kill you after. Like you have to do more than this, I feel like, as Roger
Yeah.
to stabilize and to stay alive. I don't, like, again, I know that he's got high leader power,
Yeah.
but you're under pressure all game and you're not putting on pressure the way decks like GP Luffy puts on pressure.
Yeah,
right?
you
Like,
need
you're
to set up
not-
a bunch of bodies. I think on your side, you'd have to set up a bunch of bodies, like a lot of those
Blockers.
Oden and stuff. Because
Yeah.
like, yeah, the turn that you're 9k with this, like
Yeah.
you're not, like, the best way to use this is if your opponent makes a mistake of prior to your 10 turn, they turn a bunch of things sideways to
Yeah.
pressure you too early, then you're going to town on that. Like,
Yeah.
you're just going to clear a bunch of the board units, right?
Yeah.
But like if they're smart enough to like not do that and give you that extra turn, then it's kind of okay.
Yeah.
Like, and then like this is going to be, then you get punished for kind of like playing towards this line. But yeah, you
Yeah.
need a lot of those Odins in play in
You
order
do.
for this to be like a good play.
Yeah, and then we've like just right now in our upcoming meta, we will see literally the best deck that in the game at destroying a deck that plays stuff on curve, one body, which is Green Zoro.
Mm-hmm.
Green Zoro feasts on decks that play one thing per turn. That's the whole, like, that thing gets rested and then swung into, and then you take a hit at life.
Wham.
And like it seems like Roger's gonna do exactly that, like play one thing per turn,
Yeah.
and then pass it over, and then Green Zoro's gonna go rest it, kill it, swing at your life, and then Roger's gonna take, because you have to take. And
Zoro
it's just gonna
confirmed
go
stronger than that.
back and forth, and then you're gonna play this, and you're gonna be like, aha, like all of your characters have minus 2,000 power, and Zoro's just gonna go like face,
Yeah.
and you're dead.
End game.
So yeah, it's kind of interesting. Like, again, like we have to see what other support comes, but just always thinking about things in context of like the meta that's coming or the current meta.
Yeah.
Like I'm not convinced this would beat UP right now, and I'm not sure how well this will do against something like Green Zoro, which is going to be here to stay. Like Green Zoro's the new green mainstay. Like that is green. That defines green now, in a way that we've just never seen before in terms of like the power of resting things and swinging at life, like pressuring board and life at the same time, which is crazy.
3 swords, 3 actions, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like there is an argument to kind of just play one of this, maybe two, and like still play your 9 mons and your 8 Cascadas and like hold this for when you like really need to just survive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Turn, right?
Yeah.
We've got a comment in chat here from NMA_7 who says this card makes you effectively an 11k leader. I think aside from the opponent's leader, that like relatively that does make sense, right? Good luck being swung at from the board.
Yeah. And it's like even better than 11k leader because all the characters are getting minus power. Like if they have something like even let's say they have a kata in play, like an 8 cost kata that's turned sideways, like because they block, like I don't know, you baited them to block with something first, and then now you can trade into the kata's now a 6k. You can trade your entire board into it and potentially like clear it.
Yeah.
So like it's good value, but like I think what makes it this tough is like you don't get the Dawn active. Like it's I'm not saying this is a good defensive card. Like I think depending on what else happens with Roger, like it's a good defensive card. Synergy wise, I'm trying to figure out how like you can't have the Dawn up first of all. You can't have the extra Dawn up for event, the supposed event that we may or may not get. Who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think
and like realistically, how much life are you gonna have? When you, like that's what you have to like. When I think about this, like we've seen like from way back, like we saw Whitebeard do this, where it's like, okay, I've got this card in my 9-drop that makes it so that you just can't swing into me, right? And so typically, what would you do? You wouldn't swing. You'd be like, okay, I'm not gonna swing into you. I'm just gonna build up my board. Next turn, I'll swing into you. And the way Whitebeard became broken is like, well, he's like, I'll just play another one or I'll play another one, and it became this game of how many can you chain? This is not chainable. Right, so it's like you play this. Yes, it's like you're gaining 11,000 in power. Okay, if I'm not going to die and you don't have a blocker, I'm going to swing 15 lead, put you to like 0 life because what are you going to do with my leader? And then next turn I'm going to kill you. Right.
Yeah.
So you need a way of like making sure that by the time you drop this, you're still at like 2 life. You're still feeling very healthy. You need events like what you're saying that can maybe come out earlier to help keep your life up. Otherwise, you're just going to by the time you play this, you're going to be at like 1 life, and it's not going to be enough to stop. You know, your opponent just killing you.
Especially if you don't have
after.
like Whitebeard has like an advantage of it's swinging at life so aggressively up until that point that when you play the 9-beard, you're like also like, oh, but will you die next turn too?
Yeah.
Like you're presenting both things.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see what happens with this because like I think that extra like thinking about like the closest comparisons to this card are 10-drop Shanks and 9-drop 9-drop Whitebeard.
Yeah.
So this kind of sits somewhere in between those two things.
Yeah. And as we've seen, like even now, like 10-drop Shanks is just not strong enough anymore. Like even near the end of like OP10-ish, or like when Shanks was starting to fall off, like we already saw like Shanks was like, okay, we're down to like 3 somewhere. People were down to 3 of the 10 Shanks and playing the KO Shanks, because it was like, if I play the 10 Shanks, I still just die. I need to deal with your board. Like the whole problem is like the board is so scary, and that's like even if you stall out, it doesn't matter, right? Like,
I was actually saying that like to my friends, like that I actually really like the KO Shanks in Roger for that reason of like, if you've been letting the game just pass by, then you can like, when you start playing these 10 like KO Shanks, you can start recovering the board if you can like manage to survive that extra turn.
Yeah, and like this like okay, play 10 Roger, I'm like Red Rock swing 9. Play 10 Roger, play Buggy.
Well, at least when you swing 9 that turn, they only give you 1 card.
I know,
But like to your point,
like it's just it doesn't feel as impactful as it could. And so
we'll have to see. Like,
we'll have to see how.
Because I think maybe what they're planning is that there will be a card that like there will be a Roger style pudding, like pudding/kid, where it's like when you minus Dawn, you get 1 active back.
Yeah.
After at whatever Dawn to get you that. Because like if this partners with like having a Dawn up for event, then I can make more sense of it. Or if, like I think, more than anything, I'm realizing this card's probably just to punish people for turning their board sideways a turn too early. Because if they turn their board sideways too early, then you can just drop this on 10.
Yeah.
It should be. I look at this more as board clear and defensive than it is like you can just play it on neutral. Because I don't think you can play this if you're behind. To your point.
Yeah. So I think we'll have to see, but up for debate whether this is actually your boss or whether you just use the good purple stuff. I think that'll remain to be seen, and then that will add in there'll be the added effect of the fact that the other purple stuff is not searchable. Yeah. So you'll be in the similar situation to where Shanks was in, where it's like some of your stuff is searchable and some of it isn't, and so you have to draw it. And I think that could keep this leader back from being quite overpowered, essentially.
Yeah. Is that the last of the Roger spoilers?
That should be.
Right. I have a. All right. I want to see them make, for those who haven't watched the movies, I want to see them make like a Douglas, like it's in his colors, Douglas Bullet Roger card. Because technically he was a part of the crew. I think that's like the storyline that was in the movie. Okay. So Douglas Bullet was, and it's purple. It's his color. We haven't seen a Douglas Bullet card come out since OP06, I think.
Yeah.
So now is the time to print a new Douglas Bullet for Roger Pirates. Like for the deep cut like movie fans, and it's film typed.
Yeah. That would be interesting. I wonder what direction they go in, like how canon all of that is, because I think right now it's only film, but it would be cool if like you know how Oda does these things where like these characters did exist and there's a film version of them and then a canon version of them, like Shiki.
Spoilers. Shiki.
Yeah, that'd be cool though.
I think that the people who realize like, oh wait, I shouldn't have done this because the power scaling makes no sense now.
Yeah, I'm just pulling up the Douglas Bullet card. The 8 cost 10k. That one is like such an interesting one.
Yeah.
The Dawn -4.
The bullet.
Yep. All right, and this is the treasure rare for OP12 English version of the game. Vinsmoke Sanji. This is the Germa Searcher. Absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yes. Thankfully, this won't be too expensive to add to my Sanji collection. I don't think, but.
No, treasure rares have been super affordable lately because I think treasure rares are almost guaranteed 1 per case now. Like you'll always see 1 per case, so it's not that expensive, especially if it's not super playable. Lucky Rue was not that expensive, and it was playable.
And there's like 1 Reiju player left in Canada, so I think
there's just 1 Reiju player. Where are you
go to the
at?
States though.
Sure. We're rooting for you. We're rooting for you.
Actually, a really good deck even right now. But just underplayed.
But I love this art. It looks sick.
Yeah. Mito plays 10 says, I want a young Newgate secret to join Roger's secret. That would be sick.
That's true.
Oh yeah. Give me all the young like goats. Like give me like young Garp, young Lin, like young all of them.
Yes.
Yeah, like
in their prime
with their 12k stat line, because like who's gonna debate that?
Yeah.
There's still there's still so much room for like cool cards. Like
I thought that was gonna be a whole set. Like I thought it would be really cool for them to do a whole set that's just like all of the greats in their prime and then like flashback era basically.
That would be so much fun.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they're waiting because like so much is still yet to be revealed about the past. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe when there's like an arc that's very like, I thought like maybe the God Valley one would be, but that's still not fully, like they haven't actually even fully revealed everything that happens.
Yeah.
So like maybe when they do like a whole God Valley arc, then they'll be like, now it's the time for the set.
Yeah, and I do wonder if there's like some like communication even between like Oda and like or who knows how this works, but like if even Oda would say like because it would be a great idea to just do like a God Valley like color, right?
Yeah.
Like right now you could do that. It would be really fun. It would be really cool.
Yeah.
I don't think there's too much like it gets spoiled by doing that anyway.
Yeah.
But it could also be that like, well, the context of God Valley will change in the future, so we don't want to touch that. So I don't know how much of that actually happens, but
it would be cool.
I would love to see there's so many like little things, like little moments like that I would love to see. Just get like you get a leader and a color that kind of is an ode to that moment.
Yeah. All right. Face leaders. We knew it every time. Anniversary always face leaders.
Yeah.
He's so happy. We love that.
Yeah, I mean, these have been a bit more controversial. I think like not everyone's loved these. I'm not sure how. Like, I guess I have to see them. Like this is very Luffy. Like it's just like. Yeah, I don't know.
I think I can like. Okay. So I think the best face leaders, hands down, to me to this day is still OP01. OP01 face leaders to me are still the best ones, but I think it's also because they took really iconic art for the characters. Also, the fact that it's zoomed in the scale is really like Law's OP01 alt art and Zoro's both are just like they take up so much of the frame.
Yeah,
it's so beautifully composed that. Later face leaders, I think the challenge is that one, the scale is a little off. Like they don't dominate the frame. They're kind of like framed like a portrait still, or sometimes they just don't have that intensity. Like they just pick they maybe not pick the most intense panel for them to have that face leader.
Yeah.
Or almost I feel like some of the customs you see, people pick really good ones for. Like either it's like Sanji's crying or like Namjoon. Like some of those like moments where you're like, oh, I love this. But yeah, I feel like face leaders have to be good by a mixture of the composition, where it comes from the manga, and just the intensity of like what their emotion.
Yeah, and it's like, so I think part of it too is that like we already saw a red green Luffy that looks like this, right? We already have it, so it feels like we're
and a red black Sabo.
Yeah, so it feels like we're kind of, and they all look similar. Like, so it feels like we're kind of like it almost has to be intentional. Like they're kind of like doing like here's like a reset with rotation.
Sorry, but that we meant it for it to be meta. We went for meta.
But it's just like I don't know. In the context of like we just saw like some of the most like cool like GP Luffy's so cool, and we've got like cool alt arts of GP. UP Luffy's really cool. We've got like a trillion Gear 5 Luffy, and I was just like. We're back to like OP1 again. It just doesn't quite have that like like let's go feeling to it. So yeah,
I was like, where did I see this before? It's the exact same manga panel as that one promo event card. I'm gonna be King of the Pirates.
Right.
It's the same art.
Yeah. So that like it just it doesn't feel that exciting. Even though like I like this. It's Luffy. Like I love Luffy. He's my favorite character. This is so Luffy, but like it's like we've already been here. Please, like let's go in some new directions. Especially because we just all have Luffy fatigue, I think, as well. Like, there's just so many Luffys, and now we're getting double ups on Luffy. Yeah. It's like
Luffy's on Luffy.
Frankie when? Brooke when? Like,
Frankie when?
Please, just give me Frankie.
That's always the question, And here is Ace.
See, I think this one, like, compositionally I like better.
Yes.
Because Ace has never gotten a face leader, I think, prior to now, right? Yeah, he has not gotten a face leader. It's like in the same style as the OP1 leaders, and I love that. The composition is super zoomed in. I love this is what I want from face leaders. This is how I want it to be done. And also to your point, this is someone who hasn't gotten one before.
Yes.
It's new. This isn't like a repeat. I love this, and I'm gonna get one of these.
Yeah, this one like the night and day difference actually between them, like in terms of just like the choice of the panel, the composition is much better in this one. And that one, like the composition's kind of weird in the Luffy because like you're only getting the background map in like the top corner.
Yeah.
He's really like filling up that frame in a way that like almost like distorts the composition because the idea of these is like it's face on a background. And when you like completely hide the background, it actually kind of changes it, especially when you see them all together. So I do like the Ace where you actually still have like a nice piece of the background coming in. On the whole, almost the entirety of the left side of the frame in the bottom left. It just it just kind of creates more consistency.
Oh yeah,
there you go.
So like you can see like even if the art is the same, there's a way to do it where like it has more of that intensity like focused into it.
Yeah, and clearly there's a trend here. Like they must have done this on purpose, right? If there's like, it's like multiple cards where the art has already been done, but they're now zooming in on it like in this iconic way.
Yeah.
But
even the shading, like I think that when you have this kind of shading on the art too, like if you look at like Luffy's, he doesn't have that same shading, which means that texturing wise, you don't have as many things to actually add texture to when you're doing the holo. But this is gonna be like, to me, this is gonna be amazing. I'm gonna like really like, yeah, this is gonna be a great pace leader to pull. I'll be like so psyched to get this. I'll be like, oh, I'm playing this no matter what.
Yeah, for sure. I still like I'm still biased towards like I'm tired of like cool or like give me just like more silly stuff.
Oh, that too, yeah.
But I get it. Like I get it. You want the card game to look cool, and it's like this is kind of like the anniversary. Yeah. It's fine. I'm over it. But it's like I would have just like give me like an Ace in Yamato or something. And like, You know, I get it's face leaders. I get it. Okay, I get it.
Yeah, but anniversary.
I'm getting tired. Okay, there's so much silliness in One Piece. I want more of the silliness on display on like the main cards, not on some random common that's like rotting in my basement.
This gets a pass because we haven't seen this before. This gets a pass. I agree. Not for the Luffy, not for the Sabo. That hurt. But more silly stuff. Like 100% I agree. Which is why I want to see like the Buggy and Shanks fighting with Rayleigh in the back as an alt art. Yeah, because
for me, I don't know. Like when I watch One Piece, it's actually not like the cool moments are great. It's the silly moments that I love that like make me like make my heart warm. It's not like I love the fighting and whatever. But there's so many just like subtle nice moments that I also would like to see depicted in the card game. But I get it. Like it also from a business standpoint, like not everyone knows One Piece. So if you only print the silly stuff, people are going to be like, "What is this card game about?" Whereas if it's like, "Yeah, I'm cool," or like, "Yeah, like," I get it. Okay. Just a little bit more. Just a little bit.
Let's see the Sabo. Let's see how close it is to the... Okay, they should... Okay, like, just use the art from a... I'm just so mad at this.
I know.
I'm so mad at this. Because it's not even like it looks better than the old one. It's like...
It's so confusing.
They didn't even crop him very well. Like,
I know.
Okay, like pull it down by like a little bit. Like it's almost awkward that you're showing so much of his neck. Just pull it down by a little bit. Yeah, I'm not like this is so much better. This is so much better.
It's
my god! Because the other one, the hat even breaks the border. This is he's completely framed. He doesn't break any of the border elements.
Yeah,
it's so frustrating. It's
I don't get it.
You're the stronger Meta Sabo. But I want to use the art of the old one. Like,
yeah, and it does feel like you're just like there's like just like there's like the one Ragey player in Canada. I think there's probably two Red Black Sabos, and it's just like you're a Red Black Sabo. No, you know what I mean? Like the alt art you've been playing forever. That one's now being replaced by an exact copy of it. That's better. Like it just feels.
That's better in function, but not better in art.
And it just feels so weird. It feels like you're being replaced. It's like, I don't know. It's like in League of Legends when Riot makes a champion that's just like better in every other way to like a champion some guy's been playing for like his whole life. And now he's just like, I can like. It feels like that. Like just go in a different direction, or better yet, let's have a new color combination. But anyway, but at least take the art in a different direction. I think. Use a different panel.
I'm gonna play this new leader just to cope with it, but I'm gonna use the old alt art because I'm just gonna be like, I don't care. Like, who can tell? And this looks better. I don't care. Someone called judge on me. Get me DQ'd. I don't care.
Yeah, and you're gonna put out 4 life instead of 5, and you're gonna be like, it's fine.
Bonney. Mixed feelings on this immediately. I can say.
Where's the background?
I can see they want to capture an emotional panel with her, but this doesn't like. I don't know. Yeah, it feels too zoomed in. Like the other ones were too zoomed out. This one's too zoomed in.
Where's the background? Like too, and it's like I know it's a boring background. It's just the map, but it's kind of like there's a consistency thing. Like, I don't see the background. This doesn't look like it belongs in the set of all of the leaders. And you might say, oh, well, who cares? Well. There's people who like display all of these leaders, and actually, when you see the leaders displayed by set and organized, it's beautiful. Like people have these up on their walls. The collections look really nice, and it's like you actually kind of want that consistency in the composition, and it's missing here. So I think that's the first thing that stands out to me. The second thing is that I actually like this because at least it's not sexualizing Bonney for once. So I don't actually mind the art. I wish it was zoomed a little bit out, zoomed out a bit more and had that background. And even. I mean, it's hard because I get why they did it centered, like the framing centered, but I almost want it like off center. I don't know how you would do that though, but like almost like her head is tilted sideways or something, and then there's some background or just some.
Or just like you can tell more depth because like I think one thing is like the
yeah.
other ones are like the best alternatives. Like even when we saw the Sabo differences, the hat breaking the what actually helps you create this really nice sense of depth. But this almost feels like you're just framing like a picture. Like you're just like, here's the picture and here's the frame that goes around it. Yeah. Right? Like even if her hair just like came, like you could see parts of her hair come over top of the left and right border sides, but she feels very like boxed in. Yeah. And she also her like, this is one of her very painful expressions that I feel almost like, I literally feel like she's boxed in here.
Yeah. It makes it actually, and no, that's true. Like because she's boxed in, it almost makes it like too painful. Yeah. Like, I almost want some like negative space to reflect the emptiness that she's feeling, to like spread it out a little bit. It just feels too much.
Like I'm seeing nothing but Bonney, and I'm like,
it's like
I almost wish they made the kid face like negative panel of her face as a kid one of like the outfit here, because like I don't know, but like I still love this panel, I love this character, but like this definitely makes it a lot harder. Like I think it's just a challenge they did. I actually thought this was one of the challenges was trying to make the. Actually, no, people navigated it very well with like people making custom versions of the Enel shocked face. I think at first when I tried making it myself too, I was like, oh, this is like too big. I was like, oh, you have to like crop it the right way to make it so it doesn't feel like it's overwhelming, just like a massive face.
Can you just put the Enel, like the regular Enel?
Regular? Oh yeah, regular that has a lot.
Because it also is like,
it's the same pose. It's the same pose. Yes.
Yeah. See, like the zoom out makes actually all the difference here, right? Like, I mean, it's kind of like her hair is just filling that space that would have been that. But actually, with that zoomed in, like it's just too zoomed in. I think is what it is. Yeah.
But hey, I mean, I'm so excited for the like again, to your point, like this. They're like sometimes like you can do face leader and you can still do it wrong. Yeah.
I love the juxtaposition where this is like her face when she's like, "Please don't hurt my daddy," while she's swinging sevens, trashing her life, swinging like Rush 10K.
Yeah, and it's just there's a few inconsistencies with this Bonney. I feel like that are happening here in terms of like
I'm going through an emotional roller coaster on my board. Like I see like a happy one, I see like a way too sexualized adult Bonney, I see like kid Bonney, and I see like crying Bonney. Like, oh my god, like. I'm so confused.
Which is interesting because it's like I feel like in the context is we're right now this is where the manga is, right? We're just resolving, we're learning about Bonnie's backstory, and like it feels like a missed opportunity to really like build a deck that draws on her backstory, that draws on Kuma in interesting ways. Like I really kind of wish they'd gone in that direction here with it, and then I feel like like using this panel would work more if her leader effect and the rest of the deck kind of fit more. But it's like, here's my leader, here's my crying Bonney, now let me play my bomb, which is like a super sexualized upside down crotch shot, like like crying and like it just doesn't.
I'm just like
it's too much.
They just like literally just like let's just like take all these different Bonney moments and just put them into one set. But well,
I'm still hoping for Kuma support from this, but
and this is still better than a sexualized Bonney or like a boring like Bonney just like fighting pose. Like it gets more at her character, so I'll take it over what we've seen so far from Bonney.
I do feel like a lot of people are going to end up going with like custom alt arts for this Bonney Leader though. Like a lot of people are going to do customs instead.
Yeah, and I mean it's like we also have the green Bonney alt art leader. That's just like that to me is Bonney. Yeah, like, that's a beautiful leader. So maybe they also just didn't know where to go. Because I feel like that leader was such a hit. Like that was so good. I really like the green.
There was the joke one that I think Bunny made, which was like the kid Bonney giving the middle finger.
Oh yeah, that's so good.
I was like, but they obviously can't do that. I think. Well, like I don't think they could have done this with this leader. But I think that was actually the perfect. If you had to like epitomize. Of getting swung at 7K every turn, it's like that Bonney. Kid Bonney just like swinging 7 at you every turn, giving you the finger.
Yeah, and I also like that just made me think that like I would have actually liked this to also just been like something with Kid Bonney, because then it feels like she's like growing up to her big 9-cost self or something. Like it would be kind of fun if you start as Kid and you play Kid Bonney cards and then you kind of grow up, and like she has great scenes like when she's just like taking off to sea or something that would work as well. That would be fun. Like there's a lot of different directions. This is one direction they took it, but it's interesting. It's kind of fun talking about like even just like the composition of the cards and how that matters so much. Like I don't have an art background, but it's like as we talk through it, you start to realize why like I like obviously these artists know what they're doing. It's all intentional, but you can see like sometimes when principles aren't followed, it can have interesting
because
effects on the interpretation.
I've thought this as well because I've like made customs myself just as an exercise because I loved back then with Photoshop playing with frame breaks because when you break the frame, it's actually such a powerful tool. Like it makes it look really cool. That like certain panels where I was like, oh, I would love to make a alt art of this leader with this panel, but you start realizing, oh wait, it doesn't frame nicely. You can't do any frame breaks, and then it looks like really it comes out looking like this where. It might be because you chose the panel first before considering the leader considerations, which I think sometimes maybe that did happen where the cart came before the horse.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if you're making altars at home, feel free to give that a shot. Like it can be really fun trying to pick out which things and start realizing, oh wow, that does work. This doesn't work very well. And obviously, there's a bunch of really great custom art artists out there who are really good at designing these kind of things.
Yeah.
But it really shows an appreciation for like not just the original art that comes from, but like how do you now turn it into the medium of a card? Because actually, that's not just like a one-to-one like print it.
Yeah.
There's like a lot of subtle nuances you start to notice. So.
Yeah, and I think too, like what's interesting is like I do prefer like a direction where they try things and where we have these conversations over one where they just do the same thing as well. So like because what we've seen is like some people love the leaders when they're with their crew, some people hate them. Some people love like so it's nice because you're gonna have the selection. You're gonna have so many choices, and so I do like experimenting and trying things and moving in new directions. Which this does seem like a little bit of what's happening here. So, like I want to keep having conversations where we talk about the art because it's so interesting and cool.
Yeah. This is how you create the discourse for creating like more interesting.
And
art
there'll be more leaders. There'll be 5, 6 of them every set. We're gonna keep it.
You'll get tired of them, right?
Yeah, and then there's a lot of special ones. Like I hope this given its anniversary, I think they'll make a special set of leaders for this too. Yeah, I think it's just like smart.
True.
Yeah.
And last for now, you were right, Patrick. He laughed.
He laughed.
This is what I wanted. I wanted this so badly. That's Roger. That's what I want to see. Yeah.
So this one I think is like a little better done because you can see the background. It's zoomed in pretty close. It could have like nitpicking, but you could like kind of cropped a little lower, like just brought the comps down by a little bit. But nah, this is nice big shining laugh.
Yeah, and I think too, like maybe they are leaving room for like the alt art versions of these because I could see like there's lots of different cool things you could do with Roger. But this captures him well enough. It's good. It's kind of what I wanted to see. It's not like anything crazy, but I think for a face leader, it's like when you sit down and flip over this leader, it's like this is what I want to see.
People just kind of expecting this. Like if it wasn't this, like people would be like kind of like the NL one, where it's like, what do you mean it's not? What do you mean it's not him in a shocked face? That's what we wanted. But I think to your point, like people who like the crew leaders, I think their plan is probably to release the crew leader as like the alt art in the special set for the anniversary thing every year now. Like I think that would be a good I mean the 4 Emperor set was so good that like I think they'd do it every year.
Yeah, and that's true. It's like if you're now designing leaders with that in mind, you actually have to leave a ceiling, right? Like you can't actually go like so hard on the alt arts in their first iteration because you need to save some room to sell that like premium super cool leader, which is fine. Like I think if people want to like splurge for that, I think that you should leave that room because it's cool. It gives people something to save for and be excited.
I have the face buggy and like the 4 Emps one, and I'm like all the time like I think I've decided I like the face one more, but then I had to like have it to be like. And then I know there's people who like the crew one more, but I think it's like to your point, like I think there's a person who's gonna like either one more, but I still need it. I was like, I still need both though.
And there's an example of a great face leader. The face buggy is great face leader.
Yep.
Well. It was a hard choice. I literally had a moment of like, no, I think I played a game with it too. I was like, no, I want the I already bought it, but I was like, nah. Okay, but I needed to prove that to myself.
Options are good. I will say I like when they do options.
And it's still in the deck box. I can one day maybe I'll be like, no, this one I want more.
All right. Well, that's the end of the spoilers and everything. Yeah. So we're gonna move over to our chill podcast mode.
Chill mode.
The rest of our news here: OP12 in the West is releasing next month. That's very exciting. Keep a lookout for the OP12 release events at your locals, probably around mid-August. That would be a week before release. That'll be super fun. I think the is the winner the Kobe promo?
Yes, the winner Kobe.
That's what it is, right?
Winner Kobe.
Yeah, which I don't think is what everyone was hoping for, but something to look forward to if you are looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Past that, a bunch of online and offline regionals for Wave 2 will be happening this fall, and for the online ones, signups go up on Sunday. That is July 27th at 12 p.m. EST. I assume they will all sell out in less than 1 minute, so plan that out. Ideally use like a laptop or a computer, have your credit card ready and everything. Yeah.
Pre-make the accounts, pre-sign up for everything, have all the tabs open, go through quickly. Yeah, you know the drill. Like
And if you don't know the drill, learn the drill.
Learn the drill. Message us. Well, we're masters of it. We'll help you.
Yeah, make sure all your payment information is like saved to your Chrome browser or whatever browser you're using. Like, make it as seamless as possible, the whole flow, because it will sell out immediately.
Yeah, it's like gone.
Yeah. I think that's basically all of the new stuff that we have.
Yeah, that's about it. I don't think there's any other big news. Nats is held in September for those who are still planning that and getting in via LCQ. Yeah. But I think that's about it. I think it's actually a pretty light season for One Piece stuff because until the bands come out in August, until the new set comes out, we're kind of just in a waiting room for that next one. And you can, if people are still enjoying playing locals and stuff, if you've been playing your 2v2s and your pirate qualifier leagues and whatnot, super, super fun. But yeah, it feels like almost like we have this lull moment before like a really big shift, which will be in August, a huge shift.
I'm actually kind of worried about it. Not the ban list per se. I'm just like, it's a very interesting ban that Bandai has to do. Okay, so they clearly are going to hit UP, but it's the fallout of what happens when UP is gone that I'm worried about, and that I'm also kind of interested in to get your thoughts on, because so here's the thing: if UP is in the meta, you get Green Zoro as kind of like this deck that doesn't have a great matchup into UP, but is like good into everything else and good into the decks that are good into UP. Green Zoro is a really easy deck to play. It's the deck that's missing and has been missing from the meta for the past couple sets, where you don't have this deck that you can just kind of like, you can pick it up, you don't have to like grind a million matches, it plays well. If you want to, you can get there in the ceiling, you can practice it really, really hard and optimize it, but you can also just win your locals on Green Zoro, you can have and feel great. And we don't have that right now. We're really, I feel like we're actually kind of really missing that in the meta. And so we have these two kind of metas where you've got, on the one hand, something like what we have now, where UP Luffy is this really, really technical deck that's really, really strong. It doesn't feel great to play against because it feels too strong, but also like to pilot it optimally, it's really, really, really hard. It reminds me of like Sakazuki as well, where it's like, if you put the time in, you're rewarded, but for everyone else, it feels bad. And so the next meta in Japan introduced Zoro as kind of like this answer to that. And so my worry is that, like, based on how the bans go, that we get a completely different meta, and maybe we lose Green Zoro because all of the decks that now beat UP become irrelevant, and we start to see like new decks starting to rise up that might actually be favored into it, or we just see Green Zoro and we get like an Unga Bunga meta. And so that's kind of my worry and my interest as well in seeing where this goes. But I guess I was curious, like, what are your thoughts on just having like this kind of like Unga Bunga deck in the meta that's like the second best deck? It's going to take up like a huge meta share, but it's also like pretty simple to play.
Interesting. I mean, I think historically, I get frustrated sometimes when a deck is too easy to play, but is like really, really oppressive. Like back then, it wasn't even that like I think Shanks was very, very strong during 09. But like that was an example. I think another example was like back then in 04, 05, like 06, like Kata. Kata was very oppressive. Where sometimes when you have these decks that will like sack you, it can feel very frustrating. So like, I don't know what's better, to feel like I'm getting wrecked because someone is piloting incredibly well on Saka, or it feels better to get wrecked because someone is sacking me on a deck that's just high rolling the nuts on me. I think both are not amazing feelings, and that's why the decks I choose to play tend to try to answer one of those things. Like I played Gecko back when Shanks swapped because I was like, this is good into Shanks and is a skill matchup, so I like that. And like same with like even this current meta. If UP's so strong, I'll play Buggy because that feels like it's like, I almost feel like I'm not the person to ask. I will always play whatever answers whatever the annoying thing I want to, like. Victor and I joke about, it's not about playing the deck that wins, it's about playing the deck that makes this deck lose. Like when Lucci was so popular, I played BY against Kobe. I was like, I'm a BY main now, and he was like, I'm a Nami main now. It's like, it's not about me winning, it's Lucci losing. That's what this is about.
Yeah, but it is interesting because we were talking about before this, like, you know, it does matter for like your locals turnout and your local scene at the same time. So you really have this like contention between like the competitive environment and the locals environment, and you start to feel like when it starts to shift towards too much of a competitive environment, locals isn't fun for people because the same people win every single week.
Yeah,
and I feel like it's kind of like that now, where at locals it's like the same people are winning. And there'll be people that like because I consider myself pretty competitive, I'll face them week after week after week after week, and I'll beat them every week. And at a certain point, like they don't want to play you. Like they show up and they're just like, oh, like they don't want to play against you, right?
Yeah.
And like that's not fun. Like you don't want that, and you also don't want that as a meta player, knowing that like every other deck that I face is like a UP. They're just gonna lose to me, and like it just feels bad for them.
Yeah.
And then people are like, oh, why are you playing meta? Well, it's like because I like refining like these small details of the deck, and you get this really tricky situation where for me it's almost better when I sometimes get sacked and lose because then at least other people get to win and other people get a chance.
Yeah.
And so it's hard because then you go to like regionals and you get sacked and you lose and you're like, oh, this meta sucks, and like pro players aren't happy. And so it's really interesting. I don't know how you balance it. I think there was one point in time where I kind of liked it, which we've talked about before, which was Sokka into Kata, where if you were really, 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 really good at Sokka, you could actually play this like refined, like perfect game where you could win, even if they saw everything. Like it actually became like almost impossible for Kata to win against like a perfect Sakazuki player. Yeah. But like 90% of people who played Sokka never got to that, and so they lost to Kata. Like you kind of need something like that where it's like, okay, if you are going to play the best deck that has all of this really high skill ceiling, then these decks are going to push you to play absolutely perfectly. And UP is kind of like that. It's not quite as far. Like there's some matchups like that are really, really bad, but even like into Bello Betty, there's a huge difference between like a really poor UP Luffy player and a really, really good UP Luffy player, to the point that a super skilled UP Luffy actually doesn't really feel too bad into Betty. Like there's certain games that you realize are unlosable or unwinnable, but you can actually you can get a lot farther than you might think by playing perfectly. And so I think maybe that's how you do it, but I don't know. It's hard.
Yeah, no, it's like, how do you, I almost feel like what I think sucks for like some of the casual players that I like invite to locals and whatever, and that's why I do beginner friendly events at like Hobbiesville on Thursday. It's like, oh, some people just want to come out and play the game, and win or lose, like the joy actually comes from just being out with other people who love One Piece and love the card game and just playing 3 or 4 rounds, win or lose. Yeah. But when you start playing at like, to your point, like into more competitive environments, sometimes you come and you get like stomped. That happening 3 or 4 games in a row, especially if there's not that kind of sense of camaraderie or that fun atmosphere, because sometimes, and like it's not that either side is wrong, it's more like different goals for different people coming to this place. Yeah. That sometimes I don't want to invite people to like certain locals. I'm like, oh no, they just want to play and jam and have fun, and just almost like they were just playing. The goal is to play with us, right? Yeah. That I almost feel like, oh man, I don't want them to come to this local because then I don't want them to just like get smacked for like 4 rounds and then not really get to like see us, talk to us, or do this stuff. So I almost feel like the game needs to understand that there's 2 environments and how to make it enjoyable for both sides. Because I think a lot of people who are anime watchers and anime enjoyers first and card game players second, they just want a way to come and enjoy the cards that they own and collect in kind of like a space that's like for fun. And then there's the competitive players who obviously want to compete and plan for regionals and play really well and like to like have these really intense back and forth things. Like I'm on both sides of that. Yeah. But it without a way to divide, and divide's not the right word because it makes it sound like we're separating them, but without having a dedicated space for both ways to enjoy the game, the conflict of those two become that a lot of players who are, I don't want to say more casual, but more casual, are going to be frustrated at the best deck. Yeah. And a lot of the competitive players are going to feel like, well, sometimes you're going to feel bad. You're like, I'm sorry, but you're also not going to throw games just to like, you're just not going to do that. It wouldn't be right. So yeah, it's like, it's frustrating because neither side is wrong for what they want. Yeah. They just need dedicated spaces apart, I think. And to your point, like, but from the meta perspective, what would be better? I think the thing that would probably be better is actually just having separated spaces that make it so that like, I actually wouldn't mind playing a locals that has a lot of really competitive decks, and then every now and again, like basically locals that's very similar to the competitive environment we see at regionals when we get to the later tables. Yeah. I don't mind that being what I see at locals. Yeah. As long as there's space for both sides, if that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I played decks with my favorite characters. So often people don't know my feelings. Like, that is a badge of honor. When someone asks me, "Can I read your leader?" I am ecstatic. I have like a joy inside of my heart that's like, yes, of course you may. And it's like, it's almost like if you're a rogue player, when someone asks you that, you're like, yes, this is what I wanted people to do. I wanted people to be like, can I read that? It's like, certainly. And it's the compliment. It's the compliment.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Oh, every time I play Yellow Mom, it's like, can I read your leader? Yes. Yes, you may. Someone played Yellow Mom against me, and I was like, they asked me, do you need to read the leader? It's like, no, I don't. I'm also a Yellow Mom. Oh, that was the moment. Like, but yeah, so I see people don't know my leader effect. I was like, yeah, that's one of the best moments.
Yeah.
It's so fresh. Like I love that so much.
Yeah. I guess it'd be nice to get to a place though where we can resolve this more. I think in One Piece. Like I would like to see like more decks of every color that are like relatively easy to play that are strong.
Yeah.
I think actually, just again to use, I think the best analogy for this is League of Legends, where League of Legends does a pretty good job of this, where like there's leaders in every lane that are really, really, really strong at different levels.
Yeah.
And so like the example I always use is like I tried to get really good on leaders that were too strong for me or too hard, like too complicated for me. And then I ended up playing like a simpler leader. So I play mid lane, so I ended up playing a simple leader like Diana, which has a very simple gameplay. And that actually allowed me to get way higher than my peak because that leader was so easy. But then I started to finally get to like the higher tiers where I was facing like semi-professional players, and they would just wreck me because they knew how to take advantage of the fact that this leader or this character was just so limited in what it could do. It was so good at one thing, and they would take advantage of that. And I kind of want that in One Piece as well, where it's kind of like I was saying with that Sokka Kata matchup, where that leader can actually get you pretty far. And like in a tournament context, it was like you could play Kata and you could get top 64, you could get top, if you were really lucky, you could get top 8, or if you were too lucky, you could win 2 in a row.
Yeah, too lucky.
but like you could realistically like place in a regional with that leader like consistently. Maybe you're not going to get top 8 consistently, but you could definitely like get a good top. You could like get a nice prize card. And I want that with every color. I don't think that's possible in a card game, unfortunately. But I want to maybe just see like that direction more, because like for me too, as somebody who plays competitively, I like that challenge too. Yeah. Like I like having these matchups where I have to play perfectly, and then like I go home because I didn't play perfectly, and I'm thinking about it all the time, right? As opposed to just like rolling over people, like I'm like because they're not playing the best deck, right? Yeah. So I think getting to that space might be one way of resolving that, where like competitive players feel good because you leave your locals, even if you face someone who's playing an Unga Bunga deck, they beat you because you messed up that one line, and you can go home and think about that and refine it, and they feel good because like I just beat this guy playing the best deck.
I think you bring up good points, like using the league analogy is kind of interesting, because like I think what makes it harder to do in the card game world is that when you combine like a deck, to your point, that's like that, I don't say like lower skill cap but still high impact, you have this challenge of when its variance is good, you're beating a lot of decks just on the variance. Like the fact that you have these two random like rolls that are going to happen on these two sides. If a deck that is too good for like a low skill cap, then the variance is actually more of the dictating factor of your win or loss than that. Like we've seen that before happen with other decks. And then maybe to your point, the way that it is different League is there's an aspect of choice of which leader you're going to play in the position that you're in, and then the context of the environment. Whereas with One Piece, sometimes you don't have that element of choice because you're locked in the moment you come in, which is why I think someone said like I would love a sideboard format for One Piece, because I think my theory is what decks are the best decks in the game would change with the ability to sideboard. Someone even brought up a good way to do it is like if you just add 10 extra cards to the deck, and then in the beginning of the game you actually put 10 cards aside. And you choose the 10 cards that are coming out of the deck. And then you play, whereas like, and then I think you brought up before too, your thought was like, some of the best decks are still gonna be the best decks because the best decks are the most flexible ones. But it does make me wonder now, can you also make mistakes now as the best deck because you sideboard the wrong way? And then some people who are very good at sideboarding can take decks that are not so great and make them better.
It's definitely something to test. Like that would be a nice solution.
Yeah, we should do it. We should try that out. But anyway, that's a friend. We're seeing some of Mito plays 10. Like my friend who plays MTG says, there isn't a bad card. People just didn't find a way to build it. There's so many fun cards in MTG for your context, like, or in this case in your context that you're talking about, that are so fun and great, but then they just don't have the right environment to shine. Like that's why cubes are so fun, because cubes are kind of like these self-contained environments of certain card sets. So that a card that might be super unplayable is actually really fun to play in this like microcosm, basically. But yeah, One Piece could release that. That's why we loved it. I think Kobe and we played Popper. Popper was so much fun for that reason. It's like,
so much
oh,
creative juice flowing there, right? Like
yeah.
You can't use any rares. You can't use a super secret.
No
rares, all
promos.
that.
Yeah.
No promos.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you use the cards that everybody already has and has like extras of, so you're not even like too worried about any cost or anything. And now it just becomes like, how much skill expression can you now actually identify in the way that you play, given all of these cards that could literally do anything, and most people probably don't even know what they do.
Yeah. Dude, our game was so fun because I think Kobe and I were facing in like finals or semifinals of like Popper, and like Patrick and you guys came to watch. You guys watching our game, and like you were just like, "What is going on here?" Because I was playing this like really weird, super tanky Bonney deck. And like I was at 0 life for I think 3 turns, and then you were just telling me, like, "What's going on? Jeremy's been at 0 life for like 3 turns," and I think Kobe, you were playing Purple Luffy with like the Big Mom Pirates package or something like that.
Kept cheating out like bodies, right? What was the card you were using, Kobe?
Oh, it was like the eggs.
Yeah, the eggs.
Tamago.
The eggs.
That was hilarious. Like it's like every turn they're like hatching eggs and like.
Yeah, I was like, okay, my whole game plan is I'm gonna ramp with this leader and then play Guild Tesoro to keep drawing cards and then just like try to cheat out bodies. Yeah, which you could never do in like a meta game.
No.
Like you'll get stomped doing that.
That was so much fun. Yeah, that was a fun day for like for Popper. But yeah, all blue format. Oh yeah. Some locals have adopted like off meta night where you just ban 2-3 leaders, and then every like 2-3 weeks you like choose an extra like 2 leaders to ban, and like you basically always taking away the top until like what's left is like off meta. I think I've brought that up in the past, and then I've asked you guys if I can play Yellow Big Mom, and you guys said no. That wasn't allowed.
Yeah, I think those are all good options. I don't know if they're sustainable enough. Like I still think like we need to address it on like the where everybody plays.
Yeah.
And obviously, like having rotations and being synced will help with that for sure. Because we're gonna like we've talked about this many times, but like what you're getting at here is like you're a deck builder, and like you're definitely the type of person who sees the value in every card and wants to think that way. And now we're gonna get to do that more, which will also I think help. Like we'll include another type of player into the meta by being synced up with Japan, which I definitely think will be good and will help. And I think too, we need to like kind of push Western players out of the mindset of like, I'm just going to look for what's best from Japan and copy that, and more into the mindset of like, we're going to have our own thing and make our own thing, because I do think there's just been certain times where like the meta has not been fully figured out and everyone has thought it was, right? Yeah. And like I said this before, but I still question like the day that you topped with Gecko, if there had been 40 Geckos on that day, like what would have happened?
How many would have
We would never know, right? And there's like, but we see that happen even in Japan, where you got these miracle runs, like a cream blue Sanji tops, or there was, I was watching one of Kai's videos where he was showing like on the new purple blue Sanji leader, there was like 2 players who cooked the same list and both went X1, right? In this format with like this really specific list on the, like, so it just tells you that the meta's not always as figured out as you think it is. And I think especially in the West, we are much more focused on like, here's the best deck and here's like some tech options, but we're not like building from the ground up in the way that they have had to in Japan, because we haven't had to. And so I do hope that will help get, like, especially for the early part of the season, like players will be able to experiment more, we'll have more variety in deck building and card choices, which should make locals more fun, where you're not just coming in with this pre-figured out meta.
The first few weeks are definitely so much fun. Like that's why like, I've been playing Gundam card game, and I've just because like in the space between now and the bans and OP12, I'm like, well, Gundam card game is going on, so I thought I play it and also learn and whatnot. But like that first bit where there's like the mystery, anything can happen. Where I'm like, I don't know what's best. Like I remember like this, like I was like, I could go to locals and just get destroyed. Who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen? Who knows what the best deck is? And people have been asking that all the time in like the subreddit for Gundam. It's like, what is the best deck? It's like, no one knows. How is anyone supposed to know what the best deck and format is? It's been like the game releases in a week from now. But that feeling is like that sense of trial and error is like definitely something that we're not gonna be used to. Which is almost like one reason actually I'm excited to play Gundam is like I kind of miss that feeling sometimes of like I don't know, and that mystery is kind of fun.
Yeah, and like we got that in June with the starter decks coming out, and it kind of like was great, and then we kind of like settled back into the Japanese meta. Unfortunately, they weren't impactful enough, but like we saw glimpses of what it will be like when we get our own meta and how exciting that is. And so I do think that will also help with this problem of kind of just having like decks be like a little bit too strong. The meta decks are too strong, maybe require too much time and too much skill for players who don't want to put that time in or don't have the time. Whereas I do also like that deck building is something you can think about deck building all day. You can really like you can spend all day thinking about like, oh, I want to try this. Let me try this list, and then you can go and do it at locals, which is really really neat, really really fun, and you can figure things out in a way that you just can't when you're just like optimizing like on on GP like into this specific meta on this specific turn. Like let me practice that 100 times with my practice. Like it's just a different thing. And so it would be nice to get more of that.
Different games, different types of enjoyment, which is why like Magic. I loved when they created like Mark Rosewater, who's like designed for Magic, like created all these different like psychographics of people who understand, who play the game for different reasons. Like where do you derive enjoyment from playing this game? And knowing that is like such an important design tool for game designers, because they're like, if you know, like it's not even for a judgmental reason. It's not even like you like competitive and you only like winning and then you like cooking. It's like, no, it's like everyone is enjoying this game. That's like a wonderful feeling to enjoy the game. And it's like, how do I design a game that can just like make everyone happy, basically, which is like one of Mark at the time Mark Rosewater's strengths. Which hopefully we can create like our own understanding of like One Piece psychographics, which we're planning to do. But like see how this evolves. I'm definitely really excited for like global sync updates. And then August, I'm glad that it's not just the new set coming out, but also bans too. I'm really happy with how Bandai has been, at least like up until the synced release. They are giving us like, oh, let's just plan around at least giving us a fresh meta each time. They've seen the pain of it happening in the past, of like when we don't get that, they're like, it's much better when we just throw in the ban for you guys. So,
and hopefully they do that actually too. Like we still don't know. Like we only have confirmed bans for Japan, but I'm guessing they will ban here. But yeah, we still don't know. And actually, like the 12 meta in Japan is kind of good and kind of bad. So it's going to be interesting. That's all. Like that's why I'm still worried about it. I'm very ambivalent, I would say, about it, because like I was looking forward to the meta they had in Japan. I think it's really really cool and really really fun. And like UP Luffy is the best deck, but it didn't really win anything. So it's not actually as broken as people might think it is. It's overrepresented, but there's a lot like going on under the hood in the Japanese meta. It's not entirely figured out even yet. So it will be a shame that if we don't get that as well. So I'm very much like of two minds here with the ban list, and it'll be another one of those like I'll be staying up for it or whatever, like waiting with like bated breath.
Oh, it's gonna be bad again, Patrick. You're gonna be up, and then we announced it at like 8 a.m. But then like the first like hour of it is just like them advertising new products, and then you're like, I'm just here for the ban announcement. Just tell me what's banned. And then you'll just be up until like, and then you'll be like, okay, time for bed now.
Yeah, that's
it's like 8 a.m.
Yeah. I'll be like dreaming of all of the new products, which is exactly what they're going for.
I got lucky, and that day I remember I woke up around the time it was gonna go live, and I was in bed like, and I was watching, and I was like, is it not gonna play it? And then like after 15 minutes, like it finally showed, and I was like, all right, and then went back to
Maybe
bed.
That's actually the way to do it, is to just wake up like 30 minutes after they say it's supposed to happen, because I made the mistake of just staying up, and like you can ask Maya, like I was a mess. I was like pacing. I'm like, show me the bands. Like, is it gonna be Lucci? Like, is it gonna be like, what's gonna happen? I'm just running around my apartment. They're like, here's like the best collection, volume like 24. It's like just like the last one.
Here's spoilers for what OP13 might be or will be. And here's like
and I'm like pacing, like, oh my gosh, just tell me if it's getting banned. So.
You're screaming internally.
Like literally, I was like
literally because they know that everyone's waiting for the ban. Like everything they can throw in its way, they do. Yeah.
Well, only time will tell.
Yeah.
I get those experiences where it's like I wake up in the morning and then like I see a ban list, but then like I actually wake up because I was still in a dream, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we can do ban bingo next time we do our podcast. We do this like game of like we make a bingo card of like which things we think are gonna be banned, and then like 100% one of the things is like a random color that's completely unrelated is just gonna get hit by a stray. Like it's gonna be like, I don't know what deck is just completely unplayed that they're just gonna be like, no, this is gone. Like something like Gravity Blade. They're like, Gravity Blade banned, and it's like, what? It's like for who? For why? It'll be so random.
Yo,
Yeah.
you never know.
Yeah.
I mean, I low-key think like Raigo was like base. That was such a good band. I actually think that was such a good band, even though it was out of the blue. I hate ML.
I think looking into the future,
That was so good. Thank you.
I think looking into the future is fine. But at the time, it
Yeah.
felt like it was
Oh,
one
yeah.
set too early. It was like, guys, we're not even EBO2 meta yet. We don't even. And I was like so underpowered.
Yeah, because but I mean, all the NL players suffered, which was great.
Yeah,
They saw the support coming and they got so excited. They're like, "Oh, NL finally, it's back!" And then Bandai's like, "No, it's not back. Take that."
All
NL
your
players."
joy.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. But yeah. No.
Like your whole reaction is like predicated on the fact that like a certain group of players don't get enjoyment. I think that's so funny.
Yeah. I'm not playing this to win. I'm playing this for Lucci to lose.
Yeah.
To be fair, there's no deck like that right now, so I'll just be sad in general for whoever catches the stray. I think this time.
Yeah.
Because I don't think there's like an NL right now.
Yeah, I don't even. Yeah, I don't know who the most like off the grid, but potentially looming threat in the future that they're gonna just nuke ahead of time.
But they will have to, and I that's why I think the list will be interesting. I don't think you can just hit like UP and call it a day. I don't think you get a healthy game state out of that. So it will be actually quite interesting, I think, to see what they do.
Yeah, you did tone down you'd have to hit the top 3 or 4 decks by a little bit. But I think we said this before. I think like wherever Bandai lands, it always tends to be more aggressive of a band than we anticipate. Like we always think they're gonna hit 1 or 2 cards, and they hit like 4.
Yeah, like
which is at first kind of jarring, but then we realize it's actually probably the better way to do it. Like being almost too far over the line almost forces a change to happen. If your goal of the band is to force a change, too aggressive is always better than not aggressive enough, where you potentially create a situation like the bands in the past where they hit red, but then red was still like the top 15 decks of 16.
Yeah. It could be a massacre. I definitely think it could be. We could wake up to a morning massacre of like all of our
and
favorite
everyone's
decks.
selling their altars. It's like, oh my leaders, oh no. Yeah.
But that would be massacring Luffy, which I don't think they'll do. So we'll see.
Hey, there's still 7 more of them. if you ban 2 Luffy leaders,
Another one pops up. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
that's
like a
never a
hydra.
worry.
You ban 1 Luffy, 2 more rise up.
Just culling them.
Yeah, and there's another one, right? The Egghead Luffy leader potentially in the Yellow Star deck that's coming out.
Yeah.
There's everywhere.
It's endless.
That's a headline. Bandai culling Luffy's.
Yeah. Bandai
It's
bans
gone.
enough Luffys that all the boas and S snakes are now playable.
Yeah.
now the
gosh.
meta's balanced around S snake and boa.
It's just population control at that point.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, any last thoughts before we wrap up for today?
I don't think so. I think that was. I mean, we said we were like, oh, we might be too short today.
Yeah, I know. I mean, no, all my final thoughts are, yeah, I mean, if any of you guys are, I know, actually, no, a lot of the audience actually overlaps between Gundam and One Piece. If you guys are playing any Gundam at all, we actually just updated our site to include a Gundam database. We haven't put it into the main navigation yet, but feel free to check it out at gcg.optcg.gg. We just took a lot of the same framework, and we just kind of like thought to ourselves, well, because we've been playing a little bit of Gundam and learning the game, we're like, I miss having a really slick card database to find exactly what I want. So we spun it up in a day because we're like, I need to learn some of these cards. But if you're playing any Gundam, you can check that out. But yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, it's very clean. Would definitely recommend it. Our regular search site for One Piece is optcg.gg. Since we now have live chat, if you have feedback, just like throw it in the live chat so that we're forced to respond to it and hold us to like a high standard with all the stuff that we create.
Or just, you can also like, and if you're shy, you can also do it by email or whatever. You can contact us all the time, anytime. Or you can just @ me on Twitter, although that feels probably way more aggressive than posting in Twitch right now.
True.
Actually,
Twitch or
I think
YouTube.
that is good because there was a video posted. I forget who it was, his name, but it's going around on Twitter where he was posting saying that he wants to see like higher quality content in OPTCG and kind of like calling out the OPTCG community. And I think like I think actually there is a lot of high quality content. It's just like hidden and a little bit siloed. But at the same time, I think one of our goals has been like we also want to try and create high quality content. So we're very interested in your feedback because we're not like content creators. That's the thing. So we're not doing this as like full-time content creation. It's something that we want to do as a passion project. But we also want to create like high quality content. That's why we did the Toronto stream. We were like, I think we can do this at a really high level, and we want to do more things like that at a high level. And your feedback is really, really helpful for us to do that. And we're actually really open to criticism, because even if you think you're being critical, like we're actually all very, very critical. Our internal chats are quite critical already. So you probably won't beat what we've already said, but it would be really helpful to get your opinion and to help us figure out how we're shaping this. Because as you've seen, like the podcast is morphing in real time as we figure out and just navigate the space. So we're thank you for watching, and we're also like really, really interested in what you have to say.
Yeah, let us know. I mean, I think the regional is a good example. I don't know why my mind gravitated to this, but like when we did regional, I thought we were trying to like almost like we were trying. Have you seen like someone like the cooking shows that like make it fancy? Where like, oh, this is like a simple dish, but how do you make it like gourmet? Like take a simple dish. So it's almost like when someone's like, oh, make like instant ramen, but make it as like decked out as possible. I felt like literally when we were making the regional stream, it's like, okay, here's like instant ramen. That's great, right? Okay, now an egg, some sausage, we cut some like green onions on the side, we've added this, and then we're like, and we just like made it like, okay, this is now to us like the best instant ramen, but it's still instant ramen. But like the point is like, but this is to help us understand, okay, now what is it actually supposed to be? And also there's nothing wrong with instant ramen, there's nothing wrong with fancy instant ramen. But like, to me also like we were just like, pull out everything, guys. Everything from the kitchen and the fridge.
Yeah, then vegan options, gluten-free options, just make it as flexible as possible for all audiences. There's so much cool stuff to do.
Yeah, and I think too, like you guys have done a great job of that. I mean, the site, like the OPTCG, like the website is very slick. It's really like the card search is great, like the mats and everything. So it's like, you know, and that was from that same process of like, you're always like, you're bringing in, remember with the deck boxes, you're bringing in prototypes, you're talking it through, you're working it through in real time to get this really good final product. And so I think that like that's why another reason why we like feedback.
A lot of it's like the feedback always helps, because like I know it's like I don't always have the chance to reply to everyone's email or people who like DM me on Twitter or Instagram, but like I am reading it all. It's just I don't always have time to like answer back. But then like oftentimes I see it, I'm like, yes, that's a good idea. Like that's like something I have listed in my list of things to fix and to do. And it's like, okay, now I gotta figure out when to do it now. And I don't always have time to reply to people, but like it is actually read and we do see it. Just like if I don't reply, don't take that personally, please.
Come to chat.
Yeah, come to chat instead.
Or just you like have space now.
In the future, we may also like when we have our news section spun up, we eventually will probably have like a patch notes like area where we actually say like what's gonna be the thing we're gonna work on next, so you guys can also know that stuff. Because we are working on, because in that section we would say that we have a news section coming up that we are gonna be releasing, where we're gonna be able to have a lot of our news also like in article format for you guys to just like get caught up on everything One Piece related. If you just missed the things in the week, but yeah, example of like. Yes, give us your feedback, and also we should be more transparent with like what also we're doing too.
+1, come to chat. We're gonna do live customer support sessions. That's what this podcast is gonna be.
Yeah, I've got emails to get back to. I got to tell people where their orders are. They're all fine. All your orders are insured. We will always send a replacement and or like get you the item back at the end of the day or refund it. So like anyone watching, that's never official. It's just whether or not. And I'm always dealing with it behind the scenes, just whether or not I have time to reply back and tell you guys that that's what I'm doing right now. To, like,
I ordered a mat and it hasn't arrived. Like, when are you gonna?
I just got 3 returned from the US for I don't know what customs reasons, and I'm like, that's on my to-do list tonight of like, find out why these 3 random packages, these 3 specific ones have been sent back to me, and I don't know why. No.
Sounds fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, thanks for an awesome session, guys. Yeah, please do like call us out in chat. Like we'd have so much fun just going back and forth. Thank you, Mito Plays 10 for all of your insight. That was wonderful to read as well. We will see you next week. We're trying to make this a regular thing on Tuesday evenings, so hopefully you'll catch us there again. But until then, take care, have fun at locals, have fun deck building, cooking, all your good stuff, and
like and
have
subscribe.
a good night.
I guess we could also say, instead of like just being like berate us with your criticism, like bring on your like
smash that like and subscribe.
Yeah, hit the bell for notifications. We'll get to that. I feel like right now we're just going like week by week, like trying to get used to it. But you're absolutely right. We should be marketing ourselves more.
We'll be back at 7, right? 7 p.m. next week, Tuesdays. You can catch us then.
Eastern time.